I'm going to be giving you my completely free course on how to sell digital products on Shopify in 2025 so you can achieve making your first $10,000, $50,000, even $100,000 this year by selling digital products. So if you're watching this video and you want to make money in 2025 selling digital products, I believe that this is the best video that you can watch this year. Now, what I've also done is I've created a full in-depth cheat sheet on Google Docs that's going to contain everything that I mentioned today with all the relevant resources and links, so make sure this video hits 1,000 likes so you can access it. So guys, before I show you how you can make $100,000 with digital products, I need to show you the proof that I know what I'm doing. So as you guys can see on the screen, I've got the Shopify analytics loaded up, and you can see this is an English store, so it is in pounds. So in USD, it's around about 150 to 148. And this was done since last October, which is around about 3 to 4 months ago. Now you can see the gross sales was 134. Now, if you look at the net sales, it's around about 50,000 because we had 83,000 pounds worth of discounts. Now, the reason why the discounts are so huge is because that's the marketing tactic to get people to buy. Now, the reason why the shipping charges are zero is because it's a digital product store. We're not sending people physical products. So I've gone back to the main analytics part of Shopify because I want to show you the orders fulfilled, and you can see the orders have been fulfilled, which is 2,208 orders out of 2,211 orders in total. Now, the reason why I wanted to show you guys that is to show you that this isn't a fake store, test orders. It is legitimate sales. And you can also see that the conversion rate is above industry standards, and the average order value is around about $30 to $35, which is amazing for digital products. And because the average order value was so good, our profit margins were very, very good on this store. Now, if I open up one of the orders for one of the customers, you can see here at the bottom, digital downloads fulfilled the product, just to show you guys again that this is a digital product store, because you can see here under the customer's order information, the order was archived, then digital products was fulfilled, and the order confirmation was sent to the customer. So this is me proving to you guys that this is a digital product store. So now I've shown you guys all of the proof on how we were able to achieve $150,000 in sales with very, very good profit margins. I hope you now take this video seriously and understand that this is achievable and you can make life-changing money with this type of industry. Now, the first thing that I need to address is what is a digital product and what is their profitability. So the definition of a digital product is ebooks, courses, software, printables, which are intangible goods that are delivered electronically. So digital products are products that are created online, one time off, and sell for unlimited times. For example, software, ebooks, digital media, online courses, and etc. Now, the reason why digital products are so lucrative is because they're low cost of goods, no physical inventory or shipping costs. They're super scalable, and you can do a global reach. You can sell these to absolutely everyone in any country. So now I've shown you guys the proof and what a digital product is. Let me show you how you can make your first $10,000 or $100,000 selling these digital products. So now we need to talk about what makes a winning digital product, what's the criteria, and what you need to look out for. So when I mention the word winning digital product, what I essentially mean is there's already a lot of hype and demand ready for that digital product. So when people see your Facebook ad, they're going to instantly want to buy it because they've already seen it before or been interested in it. You're not trying to force somebody to buy something that they're not interested in. So before I get into showing you how to find these winning digital products, you need to understand that the profit margins that you want to work with is a minimum of $10 to $20 in profit after all your expenses are paid for. Now, when I say expenses, I mean what it costs you to make that digital product. So if you're using an AI software that I'll show you later, it might cost you $2 every time you make that digital product. Because we're going to be selling our digital products for like $30 to $50. So if we have good margins like this, we're going to make good profit because our ad costs are going to be able to be absorbed within the cost of goods. Because you have to remember, it's going to cost us money to run ads on Facebook. So we need a healthy margin to absorb some of that so we can still be left with a good amount of margin. So this is the digital product research method to finding winning digital downloads. So you want to come over to ChatGPT, change it to the 4.0 model, and then you want to click deep research. So when you do deep research, it basically goes into some intense researching methods where it goes through loads of sources, loads of information on the internet. So you want to make sure you're using this method because it really is going to improve your results. Then once you've done that, you're going to ask this AI what is the best digital products to sell in 2025? Now, when you ask it that question, it's going to ask you for what platform. You're going to put Shopify, and then you're going to scroll down. You're going to see loads of different industries and niches, and it's even going to give you little examples in bold. You can see here Canva templates, social media marketing templates, printables, AI educational ebooks. You can see loads of information is being put through this answer. Now, our job is to scan through this and find any of these niches that are currently trending on the Etsy platform. Now, the next thing that you guys need to do, like I mentioned, is head over to Etsy, create a free account, because then you're going to be able to mess around with the filters and stuff. And once you've come over to Etsy, we're going to use this to find winning listings. Now, one thing you need to understand about Etsy is people use this to sell their digital products, and it is the biggest platform for digital products, but these guys don't make the most money. They make small amounts of money because they're only charging, like you can see here, $8, $9, $10 for their digital product, whilst we privately can sell them for $30, $50. So what we do is we find that winning digital download on Etsy, and then we recreate it, or we redesign it and make an advanced version of that digital download. So now I'm on Etsy and I've created a free account. The ChatGPT model mentioned Canva social media templates as a winning digital download. So what I've done is I've gone back to Etsy and I've searched for Canva templates, and I'm using a Chrome extension called Everbee, and this is showing me how many monthly searches this gets. Now, 545 monthly searches is actually quite a lot for Etsy. So I'm going to click on this one. Now, when you search for that keyword, it's going to give you all of the listings that are coming up. Now, you want to make sure you filter it by either most relevant or top reviews to get the best listings. Now, I would highly recommend that you do use that Chrome extension called Everbee. Now, I believe they have a free trial. If they don't, I think it's around about $15, but it's going to really help you make a decision when it comes to which one is a winning listing. Now, because there is so many listings on Etsy, it's very hard to filter through them and know which ones are genuinely winning Etsy listings and which ones aren't. So by using this Chrome extension, it will increase the chances of you knowing which one is a legitimate winning design. Because you can now see every time the listing comes up, I can see the monthly sales, I can see the views, I can see the conversion rates. So you want to make sure that you see this. Now, although I have searched for Canva templates, there are going to be some listings that aren't identical to that key term. You can see this one here says 6,000 aesthetically faceless videos, but this one's got 1,100 sales a month, 105,000 views. So this is a crazy popular digital download on this platform. So now, because I've got the Everbee Chrome extension, I can click the icon and pull up the listing details. So this listing generates $2,200 a month, and it gets 105,000 views a month. Now, if this was being ran on Shopify, you're looking at around about 10 to 20x the results. So this could generate way more money on Shopify if they were running paid ads. Like I said to you guys before, Etsy is the biggest platform, but they don't make the most money because people sell their items, as you can see here, for only $3. So if we recalculate those total sales and times it by, let's say $20, because that's how much we would sell it for, you can kind of guess how much more money you'd be making if it was listed on your store. And that's why I personally do Shopify digital products, because again, you make way more money. Now, because this product's doing so well on Etsy, it could be a potential product for us to sell on our Shopify store. Now, something else that I can do, because I've already seen a demand for it on Etsy, is I can come to the ad library on Facebook and type in Canva templates, filter it by active ads, and then I can see how many ads are being ran for Canva templates. And you can see there's actually quite a lot of Canva template ads being ran, which means these people would not be running ads if there wasn't money in this industry. So the more ads that are running, the more money they're making. Or should I say the industry or the niche is making. Now, my goal is I want to try and find a Facebook page that's running loads of ads for just these products, because you can see these ads are coming from lots of different pages, but I've just found this page here called Creative Mega Packs that I keep seeing running loads and loads of ads for digital Canva templates. So I'm going to check their ads now by going to view ads, and you can see see they've got 27 active ads running, and they're all Canva templates. You can see Canva templates, even more Canva templates, so we can look at their store. So you guys can see they've branded their website called Canva Mega Pack, so they're exclusively trying to sell to the Canva market, and you can see they're listed it on their own website. It's not using Etsy. You can see if we scroll down to the bottom, they're selling it for around about $12 to $14 for their Canva templates. So because I found a few listings on Etsy with Everbee where they're getting lots of monthly sales and they're generating between, $500 to $2,000 just on Etsy, and there's also Facebook ads being ran for Canva templates, that tells me that there's a clear demand for that digital download. So now I know that I want to get involved in this niche because it clearly makes money. Those are the two key indicators for me to tell me that I should jump involved into this industry or niche. So technically I've got my digital download now, so we can move on to the next step. But what I'd recommend that you do is, before we move on to the next step, is bookmark all of the top listings that you found on Etsy for that niche. So for the Canva templates, I need to go back to Etsy and find all of those top listings that I was mentioning where they've got, $2,000, $3,000 worth of income being made, and I need to bookmark them. Now, the reason why we want to bookmark these top listings is because we want to come back to them later when it comes to us creating our digital downloads a little bit later. Now, you want to do the exact same thing on the Facebook ad library, whichever ads that you found by these pages. So for example, this page here, Creative Mega Packs, I'm going to want to save their pages because when it comes to creating image ads like this, we can use them as a reference to help us make ours instead of thinking out of the blue. So all of this info that we found now, we can then reuse it later on in different aspects. Now, there is one more method to finding winning digital downloads for your Shopify store, and that's by using a paid tool like Winning Hunter. And the reason why I left it last is because it is a paid tool and it is the most expensive option that you can choose. Now, when you use an account on Winning Hunter, it's basically a steroid version of the ad library where you can use extremely cool filters to find winning ads. So I've filtered the niche by digital products, then I've sorted it by winners, which means they're formally consistently performing well on the ad library. So now you guys can see different digital products are now coming up based on them consistently popping up and making money. So basically, instead of us guessing on the ad library which ads in different niches for digital products are working, this will help us find that out a lot more easier because of the filters that they use on Winning Hunter. But with that being said, guys, those are all my methods that I use, and it's the same method that I used, the Etsy and Everbee method, to actually finding my winning digital product that I showed you guys on the Shopify store that's achieved $150,000 in sales. So that was the exact same method that we used. So the point that I'm trying to make, guys, is those two methods that I showed you at the start, which is the Everbee Etsy method using the ad library, is the same method that we use to find our winning digital download that I showed you at the start with the Shopify revenue numbers. So don't overthink it, don't complicate it. Once you found the product that you think based on the metrics I've shown you, which is Everbee, active ads, now move on to the next stage. Don't get lost in the research method and spend too much time. As soon as you found something, just move on to the next section, which is what we're about to dive into in the next few moments. So guys, now we found our potential winning digital download product, we now need to create this digital product. Now, there are a few different methods that you can use to create digital products, and it really depends what your digital product is. So for example, on the screen, this is a digital product called Zero to Hero, a complete beginner's guide to achieving your gym goals. So it's basically a fitness digital download. Now, I actually made this whole thing with AI, which is crazy, by the way. Now, this is a digital ebook download. So this is like a meal planner ebook, all in one solution, again, built with AI. Now, you can't use this for the Canva templates that I showed you before. So with the Canva templates, again, you can't use AI to do those. So we would have to go over to a website like Fiverr where you hire freelancers that can create the work for you. So you can see on Fiverr, I've typed in Canva templates and loads of different freelancers can create me these templates. And you can see the price ranges from $8 all the way up to around about $20, and they can create loads of different templates. So for example, let's say I want to click on this listing here. I can basically go through this freelancer's work and see if it's what I'm looking for, and I can read their descriptions. I can also look at the packages that they offer, basic, standard, and premium. And this freelancer does tell you to get in contact with them before you order them. So what you want to do is you want to go to where it says contact me, ask a question, and I'd recommend that you do this regardless of who you're using on Fiverr. Now, this will take you back to when I mentioned to you guys, make sure you bookmark those winning Etsy listings, because this is where you now are going to use them, because you're going to message this seller and say, look, I want to recreate or make a better version of these. You're going to send them the link to the Etsy listing, and then they can review those listings and say, yes, I can make them better. Yes, I can make a variation. Yes, I know what would be better than these, and I'll remake them for you. And then that way it's going to be custom work that's yours. You're going to get better versions, even better designs, or even a better digital product in general. And then the freelancer will get back to you with a price it will cost. It could cost, let's say, between $30 and $40. Now remember, once you've paid that money, it's done. That's it. You can resell those again, and again. Once you've paid it once, that's it, done. Now remember, that's only if you're going for a more complex digital product where you need somebody to do it for you, and AI really can't do it. Now, if you are going to be doing an ebook style digital download, then you can come here to ebookmaker.ai and you can go to where it says try for free. And then once you've created an account, it will say start creating your ebook, and then click continue. And then it's going to say content type, informative story, child story, or recipes. So if you're doing recipes, you choose this one. Mine's more informative. Then you're going to insert your ebook title. Now the ebook title should be what you want to name the ebook. So for example, if mine's about health and nutrition, I can make a health and nutrition ebook title. Now ebook description is actually very important. This is where you're going to explain what you want your ebook to include. Now if we go back to the cheat sheet, I've actually given you guys a prompt example of what I use to create the fitness book. So you can see here, act as a world-class digital product designer and an expert educator. Your task is to create a comprehensive digital course for beginners that want to get into healthy habits. And then I go over what it must include, setting clear goals, building workouts, mindset overcoming, additional features. Now, if you're selling something different, you can copy this prompt and put it back into ChatGPT and say, I want you to remake this prompt, but instead of it being for health and fitness, do it for X, Y, and Z, and then it will redo the prompt in the right order. And then all you need to do is go to the description and click paste. And then the next stage is the chapters. So you can choose how many chapters you want. Obviously, the more in depth you want it to be, then you're going to make more chapters. If you want it to be a modest amount of time, you'd go middle. If you want it to be short, you'd go 6. Now for digital downloads, if you want people to have a high perceived value, the bigger it is, the better in terms of chapters. And then once you've done that, you can click create ebook preview, and then it will create that ebook for you. So before we move on to the next part of today's video, I want to talk about a Shopify app that everyone, and I mean everyone, should have installed, and it's called OmniSend. And OmniSend is an email marketing provider that you can use to then email your customers, whether it be abandoned carts, whether it be welcome series. And the great thing about OmniSend, your first 500 email customers will be completely free to use, so you won't have to pay to have them in OmniSend. Now, some other companies will charge you to have these people in your email list. Now, OmniSend is designed for e-commerce email marketing. They're not a one-stop solution for all of these industries. They are specifically designed for e-commerce email marketing. So the way they design their flows, the way they design everything is designed for an e-commerce business. Now, the reason why everyone should be using email marketing is because if you're spending money on Facebook ads, Google ads, or even influencer marketing, and people are coming to the site but not converting, then you need to reconvert them through email marketing. So if you're spending $1, you want to make sure you maximize everything you get out of that dollar. And by having email marketing set up correctly, you will make sure that you take advantage of that $1 you're spending or $10 you're spending on traffic. Now, we've generated almost $1 million in just email marketing, retargeting, and acquisition. So email marketing is every single e-com and dropshipper's responsibility to make sure they have installed. And with an app like OmniSend allowing you to have 500 customers for free, it makes sense. Now, I've even made a step-by-step free course on how to install OmniSend and set up the flows so you can start your welcome series, you can do your abandoned cart sequences, you can do a custom win back. I've gone through absolutely everything on that video. So I'll leave that video linked in the description, and if you want to use OmniSend, I'll also leave my exclusive link in the description so you can get the latest deal and offer through OmniSend. And I also want to say a massive thank you for OmniSend for sponsoring today's video. So I'm going to show you guys another method that I use using AI to create digital downloads. And again, the different AI tool that you'll use will depend on what you're creating. So really do look at the cheat sheet, because inside of the cheat sheet, I'm going to list all the AI tools that I use. and what they're designed for. Are they designed for interior designing templates? What are they designed for? Now, the goal and purpose is if you can try and use AI to create your digital download or digital product, it's going to be more scalable and it's going to be cheaper to do so. Now, another niche that's blown up recently in the digital downloads industry is interior design templates. You can see monthly searches is popping off. You can see lots of listings are making good money. If I use an AI tool called FreePick AI, you can see that I've made aesthetically pleasing exterior inspiration, and I've also created interior designs. It's showing you how you can create a modern, classy looking bedroom, living area. So you can see these images here are showcasing that. And again, I used AI to create this. So I could create a interior modern design template on how you can recreate your bedroom, living area and house, and put these images into a package and sell them as a digital download. So what I did is I went to FreePick, I went to the top where it says AI image generator, and what I did is I changed the model from Google image to Flux 101. So I described the image that I wanted. So I just said, I want you to create me a modern, aesthetically pleasing house for a living room, bedroom, etc. And then it redid that for me. And again, guys, this is just another example of how you can use AI on an affordable way to create your digital downloads. But again, make sure you check out the cheat sheet because it will give you a full list of the AI tools that I use and how to use them and when to use them for what products. And I really can't stress this enough. As long as you've got good listings on Etsy of other people selling them and making money, at least you've got a reference on what you need to create and the kind of guidance of what it should look like, what expectation customers will have, so you can address all of that when you create your digital downloads. So guys, once we've created our digital product or digital download, before we can even create the Shopify store, we need to create images of our digital product in a marketing material. So it shows it off in a marketing way. So as you guys can see on my screen, I'm on Canva, and when I upload these images to my store, they're going to be looking like this because you can't create a store without images, right? And with digital products, you need to make those images like this so that when we upload them to our store, they're going to look like a marketing way of promoting our digital product. I really can't emphasize how important the images are for digital downloads. That is going to be the make or break whether or not yours are going to sell over others. Now, my best recommendation is if you go over to Canva and type in on the search bar digital download, you're going to see loads of templates coming up of digital downloads that you can use. Now, remember, depending on the industry or niche you're in, you will choose a certain template. But look at how many cool, really good templates Canva are giving you to use. All of these are valid and you can recreate these for any niche, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. But all of these templates are valid for you. Now, if you've got a specific digital product that you're selling, you can obviously go to Canva and, for example, I've typed in digital planner. You can now see it's given me templates for digital planners. So if you just type in digital products, it's just going to give you those. But if you specify which one you're selling, it will then give you better mockups or templates for that specific digital download. But you do need to create a lot of these different images and templates. And all you guys need to do is click on it, go to where it says customize template, and it really doesn't take a genius to remake these guys. You just click on the text, you retype in what it should be called, what it is. For the images, you just click on the image and you replace the image. You can see here, I can drag the image, I can delete the image. All I need to do is go to uploads. Now, let's say I'm using this image here as my design, which obviously it isn't. All I got to do is drag it and drop it inside, and there we go. It's been added into the iPad, and that technically should be an image of your digital product. I've got a huge announcement that you don't want to miss. Now, don't worry, I've got nothing to sell to you. This is going to be a completely free opportunity that I can promise you don't want to miss out on. Now, this huge announcement is the Ecom King Bootcamp for 2025. Now, if you don't know what the Bootcamp is, it's an event that I ran last year where I was mentoring 1,000 people and I gave away over $25,000 in cash prizes. Now, if we talk about the results that the students in the bootcamp got last year, this is where things get crazy. 7 of them hit $100,000 with their store, and over 100 of them hit their first $1,000 with their Shopify dropshipping stores. Now, basically, I'm going to be running the Ecom King Bootcamp again in the next coming weeks. So this is what I'm saying. You do not want to miss this out because it's going to be restricted to just 1,000 people. Now, we're going to be doing cash prizes again this year, and we're going to be giving away a minimum of $25,000 divided and split it up to different winners. We're going to be dropping more in-depth video lessons this time that are going to be longer than before, so they're going to be more episodes and the duration are going to be longer. We're going to be doing weekly live calls that are going to be an hour long, so you can learn from me and you can ask your questions. Now, I want to say this again and make it very clear, it's completely free to participate inside of the bootcamp. Now, if you're serious about participating in the Ecom King Bootcamp, you can join the waitlist below, or you can access the waitlist in the Ecom King Vault. But what I will say is, do not sign up unless you're serious about the bootcamp. Your digital product should be sent to you in a JPEG or a PNG format, and all you got to do is upload them to this design, rename it from Digital Planet or whatever it may be. Again, you can use ChatGPT to help you name this stuff, but it's so easy to use Canva these days. I don't even need to teach you how to do this. If you really do want to learn Canva, I will leave a link in the description to how to use Canva properly, but it is so easy these days. I really don't think it's that hard to use. Now, if you do really struggle with Canva and you just feel like you can't do it, then you can go back to Fiverr and type in digital mockups, and then you can hire a freelancer on here to create you those digital mockups that you want to make. Again, you just choose the freelancer based on their description, their service, their testimonials, and you hire them. But again, before you hire anyone on Fiverr, speak to them first, explain what you want, send them an Etsy listing from your competitor and say, I want to recreate this but make it better. I'm going to be using them on my Shopify store. I'm going to be using them on my Facebook ads. So can you please make sure you make them for both platforms? Again, guys, you've got to be specific with what you want. Because if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, if your images can't compare with the ones on Etsy like this one, look at all these images on their listings. They're amazing. They're beautiful. They stand out. Again, images is everything for digital downloads. If your images aren't like this and you don't have this many images, you should have at least 10 images like this quality. You will not succeed with digital products. Again, you can go to Canva to remake them, or you can send them to a freelancer and say, I need you to remake these. These are what's going to work on your image ads, your Shopify store. You must get these. Now, if you skip this part, or you rush it, or you really overlook it and don't get good quality images done for markups, again, you're really going to be wasting money on image ads and when you create your Shopify store. So now let's move on to the Shopify store for digital products. Now, before you get to this part, you need to make sure you've got your images made. If your images haven't been made, it's literally pointless coming to this section. But once your images are made, this is a rough idea of how your Shopify store should look. This is the same template that I'm going to give you guys in the cheat sheet once we hit 1,000 likes. So you guys can just download this, upload it to your Shopify store. But this is the same design we've used on our store. Very simple, very easy. We haven't overcomplicated it. You can see here in the floating message, it says complete package, half price, instant delivery in your email inbox. You can see the images that we've created very fast on Canva have been uploaded. Yours should be 100 times better than ours. It says here PDF file, so it shows that it's instantly downloaded in 30 seconds. These trust icons are important. Then we've got some information about the product, more images, ours versus theirs. Then we've got more images and descriptions of it. But this is literally all you need. Now, you can use ChatGPT to create you the descriptions for your site. So for example, like this section here where the wording is, you can send it the image that will correlate. So this image here correlates with this text. You can say to the AI model with GPT, I'm using this on my Shopify store, create a description for it for the store, and it will write it out for you. Very easy to do. Now, I'm not going to be teaching you guys in this video how to create a Shopify store. I've done it about 100 times. I just released a free course around about 2 weeks ago, and I teach you how to do it there. So if you want to learn how to build a Shopify store from scratch, I will leave a link in the description to that so you can learn how to do it. But I'll give you guys the theme recommendation in the cheat sheet. But this is the look and style that you must follow, guys, for success. It has to be this simple. It has to say PDF file. It has to say 30 seconds to download. It has to have everything that I'm showing you on the screen. And the reason why the store is so simple is because, again, the images are going to sell your digital download, not the Shopify store layout. This layout with good images is what will sell your product. So again, if you guys want to watch a full dedicated video on how to build a store, I will leave it in the description, but just make sure it looks similar to this. Or if you can find a competitor with a good looking store on the ad library, you can also use theirs as some inspiration. Now, there is one important thing that I want to show you inside of the Shopify editor that you must do, and an app that you need to download to make this possible. So when you add your digital product to Shopify, you need to go to where it says add product, and then you need to fill in the title, the description, the images. But if you scroll all the way down, you're going to see here where it says track quantity. You don't need that. And then you're also going to see here where it says this is a physical product. You're going to turn this off, so that this way Shopify will know that your product is a digital product. Now that's not the only thing. You also need to download an app called Digital Downloads on the Shopify App Store. Now this is the app that I personally use on my store. It's the icon here with the green turquoisey background with the cloud with the arrow. Now it is free to use, guys, and what this will do is it will allow you to instantly send your customers the digital product and make sure that it's safe so that it can't be ripped off and sold individually by the person that buys it. So it's a safe way for your customers to receive their digital product instantly through a secure link, which will be sent to them on the order confirmation. Now, if you guys need an alternative app for digital downloads, then Digital Downloads by FileMonk is also a great option. I've used this app too. So this app and Digital Downloads are the two apps that I personally recommend. And again, if you don't have this app, Digital Downloads on your Shopify store will not work correctly. With these apps, you connect your digital download as a zip file up, or you upload the file to it, and then it will start sending it out in order confirmations. I can't emphasize how important these apps are, and you must have them for it to work on Shopify. So make sure you guys do that before you start selling. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a video here where I teach you guys how to do Facebook ads. Now, this video that I'm going to be inserting here is from a video that I created for the free course 2 weeks ago, where I teach you my brand new Facebook ads strategy, which is the same one for digital products. The only difference is you're selling a digital product instead of a physical product. So when I talk in this video, I'm going to be talking as if I'm talking about a physical product. All you've got to do is remember you're selling a digital product. Everything else is the same, but I'm using a physical product as the example. Because literally the only difference is going to be you're going to be running image ads and carousel ads of your digital product instead of videos for a physical product. But the testing strategy, like the campaign structure, all of that will remain the same. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to insert that video here, so make sure you pay attention to what I just told you. Now, Facebook ads is the platform that's generated me over 7 figures in revenue. Without Facebook ads, I would have not achieved my success with drop shipping. So I really can't explain to you guys how much of an opportunity it is to learn how to advertise on Facebook and the true scalability of how far you can take your brand. Literally, most dropshipping stores and e-commerce brands use Facebook as their #1 platform for scalability. Now, inside of this module, I'm actually going to be teaching you guys absolutely everything. I'm going to be teaching you how the algorithm works. Now, a lot of people don't actually understand how the algorithm works, and if you don't understand the algorithm, you don't understand Facebook. It's like their brain. Now, for those that are complete beginners, I'm actually going to be going through the complete business manager setup, showing you around what everything is and how you should be using it. And then we're going to go straight into my testing strategies, advanced strategies, and I'm also going to be going over stuff that I've never gone over before, like bidding rules, how to not outbid yourself. I'm going to be going over all the advanced crazy stuff. So guys, before we start creating any campaigns and doing any of the fancy stuff, let's explain how the Facebook brain works, which is the algorithm. Now, Facebook ads is basically an auction system. So you compete in an auction. Every time somebody scrolls on Facebook or Instagram, advertisers are bid for a chance to show up on the ad. So basically, every time somebody scrolls through Facebook, you're bidding to show up on the placement, on their scrolling through the Facebook platform. Winning isn't just about who pays the most. Facebook looks for 3 things: your bid, how much you're willing to spend to show up your ad. Number 2, your ad quality, how interesting, helpful, or enjoyable your ad is to viewers. Number 3, which is the results, likelihood of how likely it is for the viewer will take an action, which is clicking, buying, or reading, for example. So this is how Facebook ad success works: your bid, ad quality, and results likelihood. So the second thing to understand is Facebook tests your ad first. So when you launch a brand new ad, Facebook tries it with a small group of people to see how they react. If they like your ad by clicking, buying, or watching, Facebook will then show it to a larger audience, and it will keep repeating that till it gets bigger and bigger in terms of the audience size. And number 3, it learns as it goes. Facebook collects data from your ad, e.g. who clicks, who ignores. The better the ad performs, the cheaper it becomes to show to more people. So let's understand how the Facebook ad data collection works. What does your Facebook ad collect from ads? Facebook collects data on who clicks and who ignores the ad. How does the ad perform affect cost? The better the ad performs, the cheaper it becomes. Now, the fourth important thing to understand is it will always prioritize good ads. Ads that people enjoy or find relevant, like a product they need, get shown more often and cost less. Boring or annoying ads like with bad images or bad videos will get shown a lot less and it will cost even more. So I really can't emphasize to you guys back in module 5 how important it is to create good videos and good images, because it will really depend on how successful your ads are. So this is how you make the algorithm work for you as a drop shipper. So it comes down to 4 principles. Number 1, great visuals. Enhance ad appeal with striking images or videos. Test different ads, experiment with multiple ad variations, target the right people, focus on audiences likely to purchase. And number 4, track performance and obviously make adjustments based on those performances. So why Facebook chooses some ads over others? Number 1, it wants happy users. Facebook wants people to enjoy their time, so it prefers ads that people find fun or helpful. Number 2, it helps advertisers. Facebook prioritize ads that are more likely to get results, which is either clicks or sales. Number 3, it makes more money. The better the ads perform, the more advertisers spend and Facebook wins. So obviously Facebook is a profitable company. They want to make money, so they want people to spend good money on the bids so they make even more money. So you can see here Facebook's success, and the 3 triggers will attribute to Facebook's success. So that was a quick overview of how the Facebook brain or algorithm works. And now you know what makes Facebook happy. We now know what to do logistically in terms of our videos, our creatives, that will help incentivize us to get the best results. Now I'm going to be going over the setup of how to integrate your Facebook ads into your Shopify store and how to set up the business manager and how to use the business manager. Now, if you already know how to do this, just slightly skip ahead to the actual strategy where I teach you my testing campaigns, my scaling campaigns. This is just for the complete newbies or those that don't know how to do it. So the first thing that you guys need to do is go back to your Shopify store, go to the settings inside of apps and sales channel and click Shopify App Store. Once you've done that, you're going to come back to the Shopify App Store and you're going to go to where it says popular with stores like yours. Usually Facebook should come up here on the top left. Now, if yours isn't showing this, just search for Facebook and Instagram. And once you've found the one that looks just like this, you're going to click on it and you're going to install it. And then you want to hit install app again. And then it's going to say accept cookies from Facebook and click accept all. And then on the far left-hand section, you're going to see Facebook and Instagram. Just pin that so that it's always there for you to easily access. And then what you want to do is you want to click this button here, which says get started. Now, the first thing that you guys want to do is connect your account. So you're going to connect your Facebook account to your Shopify. Now, before you even connect any Facebook account to Shopify, you need to make sure you're using a Facebook account that can be ID verified if it hasn't already, or you have complete access to. You don't want to just be creating a fake account and then adding it to this, because you're going to run into issues long term. Always connect an account that you have control over, you either know about, and you can ID verify it if it needs to be done, which is a high chance. Now, in this free course, I'm actually going to be using my brother's account because my personal account is now banned from Facebook ads because I've basically been running so many ads on there and now I've been banned from it. So what I can do is I can just use my brother's account because I know him, I trust him, and I've got access to the account and his ID, and it's also been verified. So that's an example. And if you ever run into issues in the future where you get banned, you can just use a family member's account to get it verified. Now, I'm also going to be leaving a link in the cheat sheet to other places that you can buy verified accounts from if you don't have a luxury of having a family member that you can use in case you get banned. So I'm going to click connect account, and then it's going to take me to the browser where I'm already logged into Facebook, and I'm going to click continue. And then you can see here it's connected my Facebook account, and then it's going to say business portfolio. Now, if you've never created Facebook ads before, or you've never created a business manager before, it's actually going to show 0. It's just going to show create a new business portfolio. Now, in my opinion, it's better off doing this inside of the business manager instead of doing it here. So what you guys want to do is you want to come to this website here called Facebook Business Manager. I'll leave a link to it in the cheat sheet. As soon as you open up this, it's going to get you to log in through your account, through your Facebook account. You just want to log in. Now, once you've logged in, it should take you to a page that looks similar to mine. And what the first thing you need to do is you need to create a business portfolio. So you're going to see here on the setup guide, create an account and add a page. Now, if you look at my screen, guys, very carefully, in the top right, you can see my personal account here, which is my Facebook account. And in the top left here, you can see my business portfolios. I've got 2 business portfolios here, but you guys just need to create one. So you want to go to where it says create a business portfolio. Then once you create a business portfolio, you want to enter a name, which is your store name, your first name, last name, and business email. Now listen to me very carefully, guys. When you create a business portfolio, try to use your company details. if you've already registered an LLC or an LTD, please use those details because you might have to verify the business portfolio later on in your ad career because you've spent a certain amount of money. You might even have to do it straight away. And Facebook's very picky nowadays with verification if the details don't exist or they don't match. So don't just enter random details, add legitimate details to the account. And that's why I'd always advise you guys to set up a company over a sole trader, because sometimes Facebook doesn't like sole traders and they want a company documentation of proof of the company existence. You can see here I've called mine Ecom SAT LTD. So that's me using a UK company formation to create this business portfolio, but yours could be LLC if it's an LLC. Now, once you guys have created your business portfolio, you want to go to add accounts and you want to click add ad account here, and you want to go to create a new ad account. Now you can call this actually anything you want to. And then you want to choose the time zone of where you're living in. So wherever you're living, put the time zone to that. And currency, always use US dollars because the US dollar will average out the same as any other currency. So for example, I'm in the UK. If I set this to pounds, $5 and £5 is looked at the same thing in Facebook, but the pound's stronger than the dollar. So it makes more sense for me to set it in USD. So I'm going to click next. Then it's going to ask you what this account's used for, my business, click next. Then you're going to need to confirm that you've requested this, click create an account. So guys, once you've created your ad account, you want to go to where it says users and people, and you're going to see yourself on here. Now you're actually going to want to invite somebody else to the account. And the reason why you're going to want to add somebody else to the account is just in case you get locked out of your account or you get disabled or banned from it, then there's no way back into the account. So it's a backup option, which everyone should do just in case. Now, when you add somebody to the account, they've got to have a Facebook account. You can't just add somebody's random email address. That email address has to be associated with a Facebook account. So invite somebody like your brother, your sister, your mother, your father, or buy an ID verified account from the list that I gave you in the cheat sheet. Obviously, the person that you add, you need to be able to trust them. So make sure you do that and add them by adding their email address. Then it's going to give you the permission. Now, I would advise you to give them full control. And then you want to click next again, and then you want to select all the assets. Now, for now, we can't do that because we haven't created them. So we'll come back to this a little bit later on when we've created our assets. So what you want to do, guys, is either leave this page open or come back to it in the next few moments. So now we need to create a Facebook page, guys, for our company. So go to your Facebook account. Once you're in your Facebook account, go to pages, create new profile or page, click public, and then click next again. Click get started. And then you're going to want to start to fill this out based on your store. You can literally copy your store name. The category, the bio is the about us section. For the profile picture, use your logo. And for the banner, use the first home screen banner of your Shopify store. Print screen that and put it in the cover photo and you're ready to go. Now, once you've created your page on Facebook, come down to pages, click add page, and then click add an existing Facebook page. And then whatever page you just made, search for it here, and then you're going to see it. So this is mine, for example, and then I can click next. And then once you've created your page, you should now see it here. Now you're going to want to go down to where it says assign people, and you're going to want to assign yourself and give it full control. And if you've already added somebody to the account, come here and assign them to it as well. Remember, it's not just about adding somebody as a backup. You've also got to add them to all the assets that you add to the account because they're separate. So again, come to sign and make sure you add that backup person to the account. Now, I would recommend that you make an Instagram account for your company. Literally just make a simple Instagram account with the logo and bio and connect it here by clicking add. And it's the exact same process as you would do with your Facebook page. Then once you've done that, guys, scroll all the way down to where it says billing and payments. And this is where you're going to want to add a payment method. So if you go down to where it says payment methods, now make sure that you're in the right business portfolio. You can see here, I'm in the right one. Click where it says add business payment method. Now you're going to want to make sure you have the right information. Mine's correct. Click next, and you're going to want to add your card. Now, because I'm in the UK and I'm paying with dollars, I want to make sure that I'm using a bank that won't charge me any FX rates. So the bank that I use is either Revolut or Wise, and they don't charge me any FX rates. So for me, that makes sense. Now, if your bank doesn't give you free FX rates, then you need to change this to your local currency because you're going to be paying FX rates. Now, if you're okay with doing that and it's only a small amount, then carry on. But the US dollar is the best one to choose. But again, it will depend on your FX rate. Then once you've done that, guys, your payment option should now be added to the account. And if you go back to accounts, you should see your Visa card or MasterCard, the balance, And then that's everything you need. And if you click view details, now under view details, you can start to do some cool stuff like account spending limit. You can set a spending limit, which I'd recommend everyone does. And I'd set it to $1,000 for now. And then I've set mine up to reset manually. So I have to manually reset it. Now, the reason why I set a spending limit on a new account is because in case there's any issues or I forget to turn things off, the max I will spend is $1,000. Now, something else that's really important that you'll be able to find in here is your daily spending limit. So mine right now is $50. On most accounts that are new, you're going to get a spending limit of $50 a day. Now, this usually goes up every few weeks the more you spend consistently. And again, remember, it will go up in intervals of either 50 or 100, but 50 is more than enough to start with, so you don't need to worry. Now, sometimes you can click Open Help Center here and request for a higher limit, but they don't always allow you to do it that way. They sometimes will just say to you, you need to spend more money, and eventually this will go up. Now, guys, a really important section of the Business Manager that you need to be aware of is here where it says Account Overview. So make sure you check Account Overview. Now, if you've got any issues with your account, it should show here. Now, I've actually got one here, which is your account has violated one of our advertising policies. Now, you're going to get this warning very early on into your ads. It usually gets flagged on new accounts. And usually the reason why they flag it is because guess what they want? They want you to upload your ID. So this is what I was saying to you guys before. Now, if you don't have a valid ID, then there's no point because you will never be able to get past this section without uploading a valid ID. So in this case, guys, all I got to do is upload an ID and I'll be fine in this case. Now, something else that you can do here, which is really cool, is in the top right, you can reset your ads manager back to the default. Sometimes people mess around and then they end up destroying their... Now, sometimes people mess around in here and they start configuring it in different ways. And then they're like, wow, what has happened? If you just come to these three dots, you can reset it back to the original self and you don't need to panic. Now, if you come back to the far left again, you're going to see all of these little tabs. And if you go to all tools, it's going to show you all the tools inside of the Facebook Ads Manager or the Business Manager. All of these you should not worry about. The only one that you need to know about is Ads Manager, Billing and Payments, and Business Settings. Those are the three ones that are the main ones that you need to focus on. The rest of them, don't even worry about. Now, once we've done all that successfully, guys, let's go back to Shopify. And now if you refresh the screen, you want to click Connect Facebook Account again. And now it should show you the business portfolio that you just created. So I'm going to click Ecom Sat. And then it's going to ask you for choosing a preference on how you want this done. Now, I want maximum, so I'm going to click Save. And then it's going to ask me to create a pixel. Now, in this case, you do need to create one, so click Create New. And then that will be created. For now, I'm just going to click Connect. And then you want to click Agree to Terms of Services and click Submit Review. Now, once you've done that, guys, you're literally ready to go. And it should take around about 3 to 5 minutes to load up. Now, if you go back inside of your Facebook Business Manager and go under where it says Data Sources, Pixels, you should now see the one that Shopify's made. Usually it's named Shopify something, something, something. So as long as that's there, you know the pixel's been generated. Now the pixel is the data for you. So it collects all the data from users that click on your ad, shop with your ad. So the pixel is extremely important and it's set on a 90-day basis. So every 90 days, it comes up with new data based on what you've been getting from your ads. So now you guys can see after those 3 to 5 minutes, it's now been active like this. And now let's go to settings, and under settings, go to where it says behavior will be tracked with the data set, and make sure this pixel here matches the exact same one in your business manager. So make sure the ID matches, and as long as they match, we're ready to go. So now what I want you guys to do is come back to the ads manager and come to the far right and click ads manager, which is this one here, and then go to where it says campaigns. And now this will take you inside of what's called an ads manager. Now this is basically the dashboard and interface that we're going to use to create campaigns, adjust them, and all of that other stuff. This is the main part of the Facebook Ads Manager or Business Manager, and this is where you're going to be spending the majority of your time. Now, before we progress, come to the top left-hand side and make sure that your ads manager is set to the right business portfolio. Sometimes it can go into your personal account. You always want to make sure that you're spending and you're using the right account. So you can see here, mine is using the right account, so we can get started. Now, the first thing that we need to do, guys, is set up our columns the correct way. So if you come to the right-hand side here, you're going to see columns and performance, and you're going to want to go to where it says customize columns. Now, you might be wondering, why are we even customizing these columns? And the columns are basically the metrics that we will read once we run ads. Now, it's good to get this done now and to understand these so that you know what you're doing and what you're looking for after we set up the ads. So these are our key metrics that we need to review. Now, if you come back to the cheat sheet, guys, you're going to see here columns required, and these are all the columns that you need. I'm actually going to add a few more columns here so you guys can add them in your own time. Some are advanced and some are beginner friendly. So just make sure that you've got the ones that I've added here. So if we go back to the ads manager, if we click performance, we're going to want to look for the right ones. So you can see CPC and CTR. Then under cost, we've got CPM, which is what we're going to need. Then if we go underneath performance funnel, we don't need any of those. Then we've got engagement. Now underneath engagement, you want to go to media and you want to click video plays 25, 50, 75, 95, and 100. Then you want to click video average playtime as well. Then underneath clicks, you want to do unique CTR. You also want to do link clicks. And then underneath conversions, you want to do add to cart total. You also want to do purchase ROAS on ad spend total. Then you want to do checkouts initiated, also total. And then underneath status and dates, you want to do date created and date last edited. And then underneath tracking, you want to do URL parameters. And then if you come to the right hand side, you're going to see 39 columns selected. And this is in the order that you're going to have it. Now you want to put this in the right order. Now date created should be at the top. Date last edited should be underneath that. Delivery should be above it. We can get rid of bid strategy. We can also get rid of last significant edit. We can also get rid of impressions. We can keep quality ranking. We can keep engagement ranking. Amount spent should also be underneath ad set name. Schedule should be underneath ad set name. Ends you can get rid of. And you can leave the rest as it is. And then you want to click save as a custom preset and you want to call it Ecom. And then click save. Now, if you just scroll all the way to the right hand side, you should see all of your columns, and these are the most important ones to understand how well are your ads performing. So guys, we can now move on to our first campaign, which is going to be our testing campaign, and within the name, it's testing. We're testing variables out. What video works the best? Is it image ads that work the best? What type of audience works the best? What offer works the best? So what we're trying to do here is test to see what works. And if nothing works, then guess what? Our product is the issue. So we change the product. Now, usually I set around about $200 to $350 to test. And if I don't get the right metrics back, which I'll be showing you in the next few moments, then I cut the product and move to the next one. Now, this is the part of dropshipping where it's really going to test your mindset on losing money and to see how you cope with it. So the first thing we're going to want to do is go to the far left in the green where it says create, and we're going to want to go down to where it says sales, and then go to where it says buying type and make sure it's auction, and then go to where it says continue. And now it's going to say manual setup, and then it's also going to show advantage shopping plus. Now, for now, we're only going to be focusing on manual setup. Advantage shopping plus is for scaling once you know what works. We're going to leave this alone till we know what works, guys. We are not going to touch this until we scale. So for now, manual sales campaign, click continue. And then where it says campaign name, this is where we're going to call it our product name. So you can see I've called it heated vest test. And then if you scroll down, it's going to show campaign details, buying type, and campaign objective. Then it's going to show you advantage catalog ads. Make sure this one's turned off. Then it's going to show advantage campaign budget. Make sure this is also turned off, guys. And then you want to hit next. Now, guys, we're inside of the ad set level. Now, for me to explain this the best to you, if you come to the left-hand side, you're going to see a folder. You're then going to see an icon with 4 squares, and then you're going to see an icon with the page. Now, the folder is the campaign level. The 4 squares is the ad set level. And then the image of the page is the ad level. Now, the ad set level is what we're targeting, who we're targeting, and how we're targeting them. The campaign is the overall template, and then the ad level is where we do the visuals and the writing for people to see. Now, inside of the ad set name, we're actually going to come back to this, guy. So for now, just leave it. And then where it says conversion location, click website. Performance goals, maximize numbers of conversion. Data set, make sure you choose the right pixel. Conversion event, choose to purchase. Then where it says dynamic creative, do not turn this on. Now, where it says daily budget, this is really going to depend on 2 factors. Number 1, your product pricing. Now, if your product is above a price of $39.99, set this to $10. If your product is above the price of $99.99, you set this to $15. Anywhere in between is 10. Now, inside of the Google Doc, it will contain that information again, but those are the 3 variables that I stick to. Now, the second thing that it will depend on is your account spending limit. Now, if you're on a $50 limit like me, then you're going to be able to do either 5 or 10 ad sets, depending on how expensive your product is. Now, in this example, my product is $79.99, so I'm going to be doing $10 per ad set. Now, I can only do 5 ad sets because I've got a $50 spending limit. Now, if you're watching this and your account doesn't really have a spending limit, then you can either do 5 or 10 ad sets at $10 a day. It depends how comfortable you are on testing more variables. Obviously, the more ad sets means the more variables that we're able to test. Now, for most beginners, 5 is more than enough at $10. Now, something else that you need to understand is we're doing a ABO campaign, which stands for ad set budget optimization. Now, there is another formation called CBO, which is campaign budget optimization. That's how Facebook spreads our money across our ad sets. Does it spread it across the ad set level or the campaign level? Now, all you guys need to know is CBO typically works better when you know what works and what scales, and ABO typically works the best when it comes to testing. So for now, we're going to stick with an ABO campaign. But what I will say as a side note is it really does depend on your account. Every account reacts different to the different options that Facebook gives us. So for me, I'm going to leave this, guys, at $10 a day. And then where it says start date, I always set this to the next day, midnight. So this is going to be 27:00. So this is going to be 12 a.m. GTM next day. And then where it says end date, you do not need to click this. And then where it says budget scaling, you don't need to touch any of this either. And then where it says locations, this is where you want to click edit. Now, locations is really important. It really depends on who you're trying to sell the product to, but the 2 categories that I'll always stick to as a beginner is the top 5 countries, which is the UK, US, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada. Now, if you want to kind of experiment a little bit more wider, but it will cost slightly more money, so your $10 a day won't go as far, it'll go a little bit less, but it means you can spread the audience out a little bit more, is I do the top 5 countries, which are the ones I mentioned, plus the European countries that have a really good spend. Now, European countries are very underrated in dropshipping, but they still make a lot of money. Now, in my case, I'm actually going to be doing the top 5 and the top European countries, but it's completely down to you guys what you'd rather do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to where it says browse. So now I'm going to go to where it says add locations in bulk. Go to where it says countries, and I'm basically going to go back to the Google Docs sheet and copy the European ones into here and click match locations. So guys, when you click add locations in bulk, it's going to ask you to put a list here. So if we go back to the cheat sheet, you can see I've got my list that I'm going to go with, which is the top 20 countries. Now, if you want to go with the top 5, you can put the top 5, but for this instance, I'm going to put the top 20. So I've added those, click match locations. And what will happen is it will try and match the locations. Now, we don't need French Polynesia. We don't need this one. We don't need this one either. We don't need this one either. We don't need that one. Let's go through all the rest of the list. We don't need that one. We don't need that one either. We don't need that one either, nor that one. Now that's good, guys. We can click save list and click add locations. And we can enter the list as top 22, as there's 22 for some reason, and then we want to click save list. Now there's 22 countries, not 20, sorry, so let's click save list. So basically we don't need to keep adding those in manually from now on. They should just be there. Double check they're all there correctly. Okay, we're all good. Now we can move on. Now we're moving on to where the targeting happens. So now if you scroll down, guys, you're going to see something called Advantage Audience Plus. Now this is where things get interesting, because this is where we choose whether we want Facebook to do the targeting for us, which is find the people that are relevant for our ad, or do we give them a rough idea of who to go for? Now, this is really hard to choose whether you should use it or not, but put it this way, you can choose to test this or not to see if it helps. Now, what I always say is go by this rule of thumb. If your product is made for everyone, so let's say, for example, you're selling something like a posture corrector where anyone from any walk of life can buy it because it can benefit anyone, then this being Advantage Plus might be very beneficial, because it's hard to really find out who specifically wants to buy that product. But if you've got a rough idea of people that want to buy your product, then what we can do is we can click add a suggestion. Now, if you scroll down, ignore custom audiences, we're going to go down to where it says detailed targeting. So we're going to give Facebook an idea as an option for them to help find who we're looking to sell to. Now, I'm selling to people that are doing, skiing, outerwear, etc. So I could type in, for example, ski sporting goods. So I'm going to click that one there. Now, something that you want to make sure you're paying attention to is the right hand side where it says estimated audience size. You want that to be above 10 million. So at the moment it's 31 to 37. Now where it says estimated audience size on the far right side, this is very important to look at, because you want this above around about 50 million to 100 million. when you're testing. Now, what I've done, guys, is I've added a few more interests. I've added hiking, recreational fishing, ski, and snowboarding. So what Facebook's going to do is they're going to use their AI engine to find people, but they're going to take into consideration that these are the people that I'm trying to sell to. Now, these are going to be what I call the warmest people for my product, because these people are going to want it the most or need it the most because their activity directly correlates with wanting or needing my product. Now, if you're selling a beauty product, you might want to put here a few beauty interests like Kylie Jenner or one or two beauty brands that can help Facebook understand that you're selling a beauty related product. Now, once we've done this, guys, you're going to want to go to where it says age, and I'm going to change this to 21, and I'm going to leave it at 65. So this is 21 to 65, but usually I do 21 to 55, but because of my product, I think is really suited for older people too, because older people feel the cold more than younger people, I'm going to leave it at 65. But usually I do 21 to 55, but in this exception, I know older people are going to have an interest in this, so I'm going to leave it at 65. But you should always set it at 21 as the minimum age. Now, where it says genders, I'm going to leave it at all, as mine is both genders, so it really doesn't matter. But if yours is specifically one gender, then obviously set it to that one gender. Now, if we scroll down, you're going to see placements here. Now, placements is where your brand is going to show up on the Facebook platform. Now, I leave mine as advantage plus placements because I like Facebook to figure it out for me. Now, if you do want to change this, which is optional, you can click edit, and then you can go down to manual placements. Now, the only manual placements that I personally do if I don't want Facebook to do it for me is Facebook feeds, Facebook stories, Instagram feeds, and Instagram stories. Those are the 4 ones that I'll choose if I'm doing manual. But in this case, I am not doing manual, guys, so I'm going to leave it as advantage. So now, guys, what we can do is we can scroll all the way back up, and we can now enter our ad set name. And the ad set name should be basically what we've selected within the ad set. So for example, we're doing 21 to 65. We're doing advantage plus. Then I'm going to add the interest that I've given it to help with it. So skiing, hiking, fishing. I've also used auto placements. And then of course, I've done $10 as well. So let's put $10. Now, the reason why it's super important to name your ad sets is because when you come to review them later, once we've published them, it's easier for you to know which one was which, so you don't make any mistakes. So now that's done, guys, we can click next. Now, guys, before we click next, there's going to be a beneficiary and payer. So this is really important because if you're going to be targeting European countries, you do have to fill this out. Now, I'd recommend that you put this as your store name. So I've called it Thermostyle, and this is just for the European Union, guys. So just click next once you've done that. And now, guys, we're in the ad level. So now underneath identity, you should see Facebook page and Instagram account. And once those are correct, that's fine. We can move on. And now we should be moving on to ad set setup, and we want to click create ad. Then we're going to use manual upload, and then we're going to go down to where it says single image or video. Now we're going to call this ad name video 1. Now in total, we're going to have 3 ads or 4 ads. Now the reason why we might need 4 is because if images have worked for your product for other people, then the 4th ad will be the image ad. Now obviously how we're going to know if images have worked well is if we go to the ad library and look at our competitors. If they're running image ads, and a lot of them, clearly it's working. So if that is the case, then we're going to have 4 because we know it works for our competitor. Now, if it's not working for our competitors, then we just leave it at 3 ads, which is 3 videos. So obviously the first ad is going to be video 1. So now you want to scroll down to where it says add creative. You want to go to where it says set up creative. And if it's a video, which it is, we're going to go to video ad. And then once we've gone to creative setup, you want to go to source URL, and you want to put in your landing page. So your landing page should be under source URL, and you want to preview the URL, make sure it's correct and it works. And then you want to go to where it says text. Now, where it says primary text, now this is where we're going to use some AI to help us do this. So what you guys need to do is you need to go back to ChatGPT. You want to go to explore GBTs, and we're going to be using the Facebook ad copywriter. Now, this will be linked in the cheat sheet for you guys to access. Now, this is going to help us come up with the Facebook creatives for ad copies and ad headlines that are going to work. Now, I've given you guys a prompt to use, which is this is my product page, which you've then sent them the link to your product page. These are my competitors running the ads. Then you send them the links to your competitors' ads. Now, the way I've done this is I've actually gone back to Winning Hunter, and I've actually sent them the ads that are working the best. Now, I'm not just sending them random page ad library links. I'm only sending them the links to the page ad libraries that are working. Like, look, Living Smart is the best performing page for this product. So what I've done is I've clicked view details. I've then gone to page ad library and I've used the page ad library and sent it to them because they're clearly doing well. Now, if you've not got Winning Hunter, this is going to be a little bit harder because you'll have to go to the ad library and manually look for which pages have the most active ads and then manually sort them out. But for me, I've just gone on which ones are performing the best, Heated Hunter and Living Smart. So I've gone back to the GBT and I've sent it that information. And then it's asked me who my target audience is, unique selling points, special offers, customer pain points, and branded guidelines. Now, for you guys to get this information, you should already have it now, especially because we've done the Shopify store. If you don't have this information, then ask GBT to help you gather this information by sending it your competitors' websites, and it will then give you the information. Now, for obviously special offers, that needs to be based on your website and your offers, which is either buy one, get one free, or save more, buy more. That should all be based off your information. Now, I sent the GBT all that information across, and then it's come back and sent me some headlines and ad copies that I can use. Now, after it sent me a few of them, they're pretty good. And then I asked it to base it off the page that had the best ads, which is this one here, which is Living Smart. And you can see then it gave me more ad copies and headlines based on what's working for my competitors. So now I've got all of these ad copies and ad headlines that I can use. So I've added my headline here, which is Stop Shivering, Start Living Smart. And now I've got the option to add more. Now, I personally add 3 of these headlines and then that's it. So this is basically your split testing, which will work the best based on Facebook. So guys, you can see I've added my 3 headlines here. Stop Shivering, Start Living Smart. One Vest, Endless Adventures. Trusted by thousands to beat the cold. So I only need 3 out of 5. Now, where it says primary text, you need to make sure that they match the ones that you've added here. So the headlines and the primary text need to match. So whichever the GBT gave me for this one, I need to give it that complete ad copy. So you can see here, this is the ad copy that goes with that headline. Now, what I would say to you guys is don't just add these ad copies in. You also need to make sure you check if it's the right spelling, if it makes sense, because sometimes AI can make mistakes. So you've got to make sure you read them so they are correct. Now, once we've done that, we can scroll down to where it says description. And in description, I put free track shipping. So I only use free track shipping as the description, and then call to action is going to be shop now. Now, once I've done that, I can click next. And then it's going to ask for the media, which is obviously the video. So we need to upload those videos. Now, once you've uploaded your video, select the first video that you want to use and click next. And then click next again. And then it's going to show you here the crop option. This ad will not show up on certain placements. I'm going to click recommended. And then where it says here feeds and streams, I'm going to use recommended. And then where it says here 16:9, I'm going to click recommended. And then I'm going to go and click next. And then I'm going to click done. So now you guys should be able to see a preview of what your ads is going to look like. And you can also make it bigger like this and see what all your ads are going to look like, which is really, really important. Now, once you've done that, guys, it should now import all the primary text here. And then you can see your headlines, and then the call to action should be shop now. So let's change that again to shop now. And then it says here advantage plus creative text generation using AI. Now, this is saying generate variations, and some people have seen a 1.7% increase by doing this. Then there's an option called Advantage Creative Text Generation. This is where Facebook's AI will basically optimize your text based on what they think will work. It's down to you guys if you want to use it. Honestly, I'd keep the first one the way you've done it and maybe make one of the others with their AI and see if it works any better. Then once you've done all of that, guys, you can scroll down and then it's going to say website URL. Now, again, this is where we're going to get our product URL and we're going to paste it here. Now, before we carry on, always preview the URL, and if it's working correctly, then it's all done. Now, if we scroll all the way down, there's something called a URL parameter, which is optional. Now, this is actually quite important to do because this will help you understand where your sales are coming from. Facebook's tracking isn't perfect, by the way, guys. It does get glitchy. Now, if you want to stop that from happening, you can set up URL parameters or UTMs. And how you do that is you go to where it says build a URL parameter. You set the campaign source, you set the campaign medium, the campaign name, and the campaign content. Now, just to save a little bit of time, I'm not going to do this now, but I'm going to put an explanation in the sheet so you can do this. Now, what this does is it sets up a custom URL per ad. So each ad, because we're going to be running 3 or 4, will have a custom URL based on the parameters so that we know which URL generated the sale. Because sometimes Facebook might say, oh, this ad set or this ad made the sale, but really Facebook's basically flagging the wrong stuff. So by you implementing URL parameters, it's a safety net from stopping the wrong data. Because imagine you scaling your ads based on data that's not correct. That can cost you a lot of money because you're killing ad sets or you're scaling ad sets which aren't the right ones. So I would recommend that you set up URL parameters. It's very, very important. It can take a little bit of time. That's why I'm going to give you a guide inside of the cheat sheet and a video to watch as well, so you can watch it inside of the cheat sheet. Now, there are softwares that you can also use, but that's better for advanced people that are starting to see some success because they're not cheap to use, and I'll be covering those later on in the video. Now, once we've done that, guys, we can go back and we can duplicate the video 2 more times. So we're going to click duplicate and we're going to change number of copies to 2 and click duplicate. So now we're going to change this one to video 2 and we're going to change this one to video 3. So now we've got video 1, video 2, and video 3. So now in video 2, what we need to do is we need to scroll all the way back down. So what we need to do is we need to go to where it says media, delete the media. There should be a bin icon here and click add media, add video. Now the text should stay the same. The media is going to change. So now we're going to change it to the second video and click next. Next again. Then we're going to use their recommendations. And now it's going to optimize video 2 based on the new video. We need to now set up a new URL parameter for this one because again, each ad needs a new URL parameter. Then once that's been changed, guys, we can now move on to video 3. Video 3, we're going to go back up, just delete this media, add video, go to media and select video 3. Next, recommended, and next. And then guys, that is the video 3 also done and now being optimized. So now we've done that, guys, we've got our 3 videos. Now, if again, our product is suited for image ads too, we can click duplicate again, click duplicate, and we're going to scroll up and we're going to call this image ad. And then if we scroll all the way down, we're going to delete the media. We're going to click add media, add image, and then we're going to go all the way down to media and we're going to upload our image. So there we go, guys. I've uploaded my image. Then I'm going to click next and then I'm going to click next again and click done. And then our image ad has now been used for our ad. So this image ad that we created during the module where I show you guys how to do it has now been added and it looks really, really nice. So guys, that's our 4 creatives done, which is our 3 videos and our image ad. So now we need to duplicate the ad set level 4 more times. So we're going to click duplicate. And we're going to change number of copies to 4. Now, remember what I told you guys, if your account doesn't have a budget restriction, then you could do 10. Remember, the more ad sets means the more testing that you can do quicker. Now, if you're a beginner or you're a little bit more concerned or more anxious about spending money, then just stick to 5, which is adding 4 more. Then we're going to click duplicate. And now we should see in total 5 ad sets. Now we've got 4 more duplications, guys. These are the things that we can vary test. Now remember, this is a testing campaign. So we need to try and test as many variables as we can, but we've got to be very careful when we're testing variables. And you might be thinking, well, why should we be careful? Because what we really want to test is the creative. Is the creatives good? Now, if we make too many adjustments inside of the ad set, it could interfere with the results of the creatives. Now, something that I usually like to mess around with in this section is the location. So maybe for this ad set, I change it from all of these countries just to the top 5. So guys, inside of this ad set, the only change that I might want to make is what I've just done, which is change the locations just to the top 5 countries. So I'm going to scroll all the way back up. So I'm going to change it now and I'm going to put top 5. So now I know inside of this ad set that I'm doing top 5 instead of the top 20, for example. Then in the next campaign, what I might want to change is I might want to change giving Facebook no recommendations. So I might not give it any recommendations. So I'm going to delete every single one of these, go all the way back up and delete the recommendations. Now in the next ad set, what I might want to change is I might want to scroll all the way down to where it says placements. And I might want to change advantage placements to manual placements. So under manual placements, I'm now going to change it just Facebook and Instagram stories and feeds. So now you guys can see that I've got Facebook feed, Facebook profile feed, Instagram feed, Instagram feed, Instagram profile feed, Instagram stories, and Facebook stories. So I've only got those 6 placements instead of all of the rest of them. Now, the reason why this might be a good thing to test is because Facebook usually wastes a lot of budget on the other placements that usually don't perform very well. So now I can go all the way up and change it from advantage auto placements to manual. Now the last change that I might want to make on this last ad set is scrolling all the way down to where it says advantage plus. And I might actually want to change this completely. And I might want to go to where it says switch to original audience options. And I'm going to go to where it says use original audience. And this is where Facebook's AI no longer happens, and it's strictly just going to use what information I give it in terms of targeting. So if we scroll all the way down now to audience, we can see if we keep going down, it's still got our interest. Now you've got two options, guys. You can either keep the stacked interest that you've put here, which is these 4 like I have, or you can delete every single one of them, or you can put one really broad interest. Now what I've done is I've searched for coat and I've changed it from relevance to size. Now coat is a part of clothing that I'm obviously going to sell. It's type of a coat. So you can see here now the relevant size to this is between 49 million and 58 million. Now I might want to change this from coat to jacket. Now jacket has 99 million to 117 million, and it's really relative to the type of product that I'm selling. Now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go with jacket apparel because it's a bigger audience size, and people, like I said, that buy jackets will also buy coats. So I've selected jacket apparel, and the audience size is now 61 to 72 million. Now I've stacked a few other interests here. I've put coat and then North Face apparel, as that's a really big company that sells clothing for the extreme winter. So I've got those 3 stacked interests using the old style of audience targeting. So I'm going to go all the way back up now. I'm going to take off advantage plus. I'm going to get rid of these other interests. And now I'm going to call it stack old. And then I'm going to put the names of the interests that I've targeted here. And then that's that one done. And then once we've done all of that, guys, we can click publish. Now, once you've published it, guys, you should see campaign, ad sets, and ads. Now, if we go back over to campaigns, it should be the campaign name. If you go to ad sets, you need to make sure that this column is bigger on the size. So instead of it being that small, you need to make it this big. That way you can see the differences with each ad set, because obviously the changing of the name will give away what changes we've made inside of that ad set. And then obviously ads is the last one, and all of the ads should be there ready to go. Now those will be in draft, and once Facebook approves them, you will get a notification being told your ads have been approved and delivery should be delivering. Now in this example, I've turned mine off because this is obviously an example video, so I'm not going to leave mine on, but it should just say delivering. So now what you guys should do is let your campaigns run for around about 24 to 48 hours to gather data. So what I'm trying to say is do not touch your campaigns until at least 24 to 48 hours. Just let them run. Don't even do anything, because the more you look at them, the more anxious you're going to get. So just leave them alone for 24 to 48 hours. Now the metrics that you need to monitor is click-through rate, which is CTR. That should be greater than 3% or at 3%. Your cost per click should ideally be under $1. Now your return on ad spend, I've left this blank because a lot of people are going to look at this. Now your ROAS, which is return on ad spend at this stage, shouldn't even be a concern, although a lot of people will look at this metric. And return on ad spend basically means how profitable are you. Now to figure out your ROAS, you can use a ROAS calculator like this one here, where you put your cost of goods, which is your shipping, plus your cost, which is 20 in my example, and then your selling price, what you're selling the product for, and then you click calculate break-even ROAS, and you can see my break-even ROAS is 1.33. So anything above that, I'm making money. Anything below that, I'm losing money. Now this early into your ads, I wouldn't even worry about the ROAS. Now this is what I would do within this stage. If you've got 0 sales, I would reevaluate your creatives or your products, or consider moving on. Now if you've got 1 sale, let the ad sets run for another 12 hours. If you've got 2 or more sales, just duplicate the ad sets that have got those sales. So after 24 to 48 hours, once you've come back inside of your, so after 48 hours have completely ran and your ads have spent what they should have spent, which is 10 per ad set, which is over 2 days, you want to come back to your campaign, go to the ad set level, and you want to look at your CPC. Now, if your CPCs are above $1, now that is a cause for concern, but it isn't a complete concern just yet, because it does depend on other metrics. Now the CTR should show between 3% and above. If it's slightly under 3%, it's not harmful at this current stage. Now your CPMs should not be going over $30 to $50. If they are, then that can be a concern. Now, video plays at 25%, 50%, 75%, 95%, and 100% is something to also pay a very key eye on. Now, these metrics can't be looked at as a one-look cause, which is a lot of people do. A lot of people say, well, if your CPC is over $1, that's it, your Facebook ads have failed. If your CPC is over $1, but your ads are profitable, we can all agree that's not a problem. So the problem with a lot of people is they'll tell you to look at these metrics in a one view mind, and you can't do that. Now, what could show is your video views at 25% is really high, but then it drops off really, really hard after 50. Now, technically that could be bad because no one's buying. But if it shows that your video views are really high at 25%, but then your link clicks and add to carts and your website conversion is really, really high, that means it just took 25 seconds of the video to get then somebody to go and buy your product. It means they didn't need to watch the rest of the video to then take action. So what I'm trying to say to you guys is think logically when you're looking at your Facebook ad metrics. Don't look at them in a one view cause. Now, if my video views at 25% is really, really high, but then my add to cart ratio and your purchase ratio is really low, and the rest of my video views is really low, then there's a major concern. Now, another way of looking at it is if I've got really good video watch time and people get all the way up to 75% and upwards, but then there's no conversion, that means my video was really good, but my landing page could be the issue because I'm getting link clicks. Now, if I'm not getting any link clicks, but I'm getting a really high video view play at 75 and upwards, that means there wasn't a good call to action in my video. Now, if we carry on going across and you've got really high link clicks, but no add to carts, that means that your website didn't have a clear offer or it didn't bring out any urgency for people to want to buy. It could also mean that your audience that you're targeting isn't the right people. They're interested, but they're not ready to pull the trigger because they're not the right people. Now, if the add to carts is really, really high, but no one bought, that means that your offer wasn't good enough and the urgency wasn't there for them to buy. And of course, if you're starting to get sales in your first 48 hours, that means that your product is off to a very good start. But what I would say to you guys is don't just look at these metrics like my CPC is really high, but my CTR is really, really high also, and my add to carts is really high. There's a concern because my CPC is really high. Don't look at it like that, guys. You've got to think over a general rule of thumb what's going on. Cost per click can be high because the competition is genuinely high in that industry that you're trying to compete in, which is not a problem if you're profitable. Now, if your metrics are looking good, low CPC, high CTR, really good video watch time, but you haven't got any sales on the second day, then let your campaign and your ads run for another day. Now, on day 3, let's say hypothetically your metrics still look good, but you've got no conversions and you've got a really low add to cart rate, then there's something wrong with your funnel. Turn the campaign off and go review your funnel. That could mean make a new offer, make a new bundle, try using a new marketing strategy in terms of tactic, and then relaunch the campaign again. Now, on day 3 or even day 2, let's say one of these ad sets got a sale. So let's say this ad set here and this ad set here got a sale. Then what I would do is I would duplicate these. Now, before I duplicate them, I actually want to investigate which ads perform the best for that ad set. What was the common trait within that ad set? Was it that video 3 was getting the most CTR, the most link clicks, etc.? Was it video 3 and video 1 that was pushing the weight? Were the image ads not doing well? Because when I duplicate these two ad sets, I'm actually going to make adjustments to them. So I'm going to click duplicate. I'm going to click duplicate again. But what I'm going to do inside of this ad set is I'm going to make adjustments. So if image ad didn't perform well, I'm going to delete it. If video number 2 didn't do well, I'm going to delete it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to run that ad set and duplicate it just based on what was working and then click publish. Now, the ad sets that didn't get any sales, you would obviously turn those ones off, guys. So let's say this ad set didn't get a sale, this ad set didn't get a sale, and this ad set didn't get a sale, then those would be turned off. And the duplications would stay on with the originals that got the sale. Now, once you start duplicating ad sets after the 2nd or 3rd day, now ROAS does matter. Now profitability does matter. Now, in week 1 and 2, I don't expect you guys to be running at a profitable rate. I'd expect you guys to be not far from breaking even or at breaking even point, meaning that you're at break even. You're spending the same as what you're making. And I don't mean in revenue, I mean in profit. Usually it's between week 2 and week 3 you start to see profitability. Now, Facebook ads is pretty simple. After day 3 of the test, if again you didn't see any success, you don't carry on. You look at the metrics and decide what was the issue and you go fix it. If you think it was your creatives, you go back to the drawing board, make new creatives, relaunch the same campaign again. You just change the ads to the new ads and you set it off for round 2. And then if after round 2, the metrics come back after day 3 and again, it didn't work, then I would say you need to move on to the next product. It's literally as simple as that, guys. Don't deep it too much. If you know you're doing your best when it comes to creating videos, when it comes to creating your landing page and your offer, you don't need to be deeping it like, oh, why is my product not working? Why can't I advance onto scaling? Just move on to the next product. I don't give my products more than 3 rounds of testing, and that means creative testing and offer testing, which means my landing page. If I've done that 3 times around and it still doesn't shift, I will not long onto it. I will not prolong me failing. I will move on to the next product. So that's for those that are watching this and are at a stage where they're not seeing any results from their Facebook campaigns. Now, for those that were seeing results and you started to duplicate your ad sets and you've started to narrow it down by what was working based off what the metrics were saying, this is basically how you manage your Facebook ads long term. So guys, now I'm going to be teaching you how to run ads over a long period of time and how to manage them correctly and how to scale them in different variations. And the best way for me to do this is by showing you a live ad account that's spending real money. Like this one's done around about $20,000 in the last few weeks. Now this is actually a recent winning product that we found and we're starting to slowly scale it. It's done around about 130K in sales so far. Now, like I said to you guys, you should be now entering week 2 of running ads, and the only thing you should be running is original ad sets from the original testing phase, or you're running duplications of the original ad set, but you've started to narrow it down by what creatives were working the best. Now we're going to be moving into some more strict rules, but this is going to be beneficial for our profitability. Now, you shouldn't even be on this section unless you've got at least 2 winning ad sets where they're consistently doing well. And again, you don't have to be profitable at this stage, but you should be either close to breaking even or roughly around or at break even point. So guys, now we can start to explore the scaling methods and the different options that we've got in our toolkit that we can use. Now, I'd actually recommend that you guys make a brand new campaign for scaling methods that we're going to test. So let's go back to create and let's go to sales and let's click continue. We're going to be doing manual sales campaign. So we're going to call this one scaling method CBO. So CBO is campaign budget optimization, and CBOs typically work really, really well once you found something that works. CBO is when it spends it on the campaign level, not on the ad set level. So if we scroll all the way down, you're going to see advantage campaign budget. You're going to turn this on. So now you're going to change the daily budget to $50 still. So that means that the campaign's got $50 to spend, but it's going to be over a certain amount of ad sets. So now we're going to click next. And what we're going to do is we're going to move our winning ad sets into this campaign. So what I want you guys to do is figure out what your winning ad set was or winning ad sets were, and I want you to move them into this campaign. I want you to try them out in this CBO campaign instead of an ABO campaign. Now, you're only going to be adding a maximum of 3 ad sets into this campaign. Now, you might be thinking, why am I adding a maximum of 3 ad sets into this campaign? And the reason why you're going to be doing this is because the CBO has an additional $20 to spend over the winning ad sets. Remember, with the ABO, we were doing 10 per 5, which means the whole budget gets spent on those 5. Now, by adding 3 and having 50, that means that we've got $20 that Facebook's going to spend on what's performing the best, which should bring the profitability up. And again, you need a minimum of 2 ad sets that are winning, that are different. They're not the same, they're different. And you need to add them in here, and it should only go up to 3. So either 2 or 3 ad sets that have won should come in here. And you should just basically replicate exactly what they were and put them into this campaign. Now, if you find that the scaling CBO method is working really, really well for those ad sets, then what you need to do is you need to come back to the campaign every 2 to 3 days and you need to adjust the budget. So let's say after every 2 to 3 days, the campaign's performing really well and it's being profitable or breaking even. you're going to adjust this by $20 every 2 to 3 days if it's doing well. So now instead of it being 50, it's now going to be 70, and I'm going to click next. Now this is what we call vertical scaling. So this is where you scale vertically, which is really powerful. Now this will really depend on how your account reacts. Now everybody's account will react differently. Some people's vertical scaling doesn't work. Some people's horizontal scaling will work the best. Now we're going to create a new campaign and we're going to go back to sales and we're going to click continue and we're going to use manual again. Now this campaign is going to be called interest scaling. So this is the next form of scaling that we can do, which is called interest scaling. So this is where we take our winning creatives. So whichever creatives have won since now. So let's say we're on week 2 and we know that we've got 2 winning creatives, which is video 2 and video 3. We're now going to see if we can find new interests that are winning. This is us finding new audiences that could potentially work really, really well with our winning creatives. So what we're going to do is we're going to call it interest scaling. We're going to use ABO. We're not going to turn campaign budget on. We're going to go into the ad set level. And inside of the ad set level, what we're changing is the interest targeting. Now, you also have to bear in mind what countries have worked the best. So if the top 5 ended up working better for you, you just change this to top 5. If the top 20 was working the best, you change it to top 20. You still keep the budget at $10 a day. The only thing you're changing is the interest. You're going to try new interests out, and the maximum, you're going to be trying out 1 broad interest per ad set. You're going to be trying a maximum of 3 ad sets, which means 3 interests, 1 per ad set. So you're going to be interest scaling, and you're going to be trying 3 broad interests in this campaign. Now, the reason why we're starting low with only 3 and it's only going to be $30 because it's going to be $10 each. We're very new into our Facebook ads journey and we don't want to go crazy with the spending. So we're just going to keep it to $30. Now, that was our next form of scaling campaign. Now, something that I want to tell you guys is you're not going to be running all of these scaling campaigns alongside of each other. You're either going to be trying CBO out or then you're going to be trailing interest out. You're not going to be doing them all at once. One, because your budget won't allow you to, and the restrictions on your budget will not allow you to. These are the different scaling options that you've got if one doesn't work. Again, scaling method CBO might not work for you, so you might have to try scaling with interests. Now, when you're doing this, guys, and you're trying to scale, this is when you need to start being a lot more strict with your amounts being spent. Now, let me show you another ad account to explain one crucial method that you need to implement in terms of making sure your accounts don't overspend, which is your ad sets. Now, when you go into your ad sets, you need to use one rule of thumb. Now, this rule will only apply once you start scaling, which is in week 2. Now, if this ad set is on a $10 budget, and let's say after 24 hours, it doesn't make me $10, I kill it. It's as simple as that. Every ad set within 24 hours of scaling has to make me what I've spent. So if I'm spending $10, if that ad set hasn't got a sale, I kill it. So you're on to the rule of the ad set has to make you a sale every day for it to stay alive. Or if you want to be a little bit more wider with the killing, you can say, okay, in day 1, it got me the sale. Now let's say that one ad set spent $10, but it made me, let's say $40. I will give it another day and it will eat out of my profit, but I'll give it another day just to see if it was an anomaly, just to see if it was a 1 day off and it had a bad day. So you can either be super strict. If it doesn't get a sale each day or it doesn't make you what you've spent, then you kill it. And that's a daily basis rule. And that comes to when you scale. Now, the next campaign that you should be making is a creative testing campaign. So let's go back to create new, sales, continue, manual here, manual sales campaign. You're going to call this one creative testing. Now, what you're going to be doing in this campaign is you're going to be trying out new creatives every single week, and you should be trying out 10 new creatives every single week. Now, in the ad set level, what you would choose for this is you'd choose your winning demographic. So by week 2 or the end of week 2, you should be doing creative tests where you're starting to implement new creatives on a rapid test. Now, how this rapid test is going to work is you're going to implement on the ad set level which countries work the best, which interests or audience work the best in terms of was it Advantage Plus targeting, was it manual targeting, what placements work the best, was it Advantage, was it manual, and you put the best of the best inside of this ad set level. And then what you do is under the ad set level with the winning demographics, you're going to be putting 3 new creatives in this. And you're going to be doing 3 ad sets with 3 new creatives. So each ad set has 3 new creatives. So ad set 1 will have 3 creatives and they're all new creatives. Ad set 2 will have another 3 new creatives. Ad set 3 will have another 3 creatives and they're all different. So technically within this creative testing campaign, you should have 9 new videos. Ad set 1 has 3 videos. Ad set 2 has 3 videos. Ad set 3 has 3 videos. So if you do 3, 6, 9, so if you do the math, 3, 6, 9, which equals 9, so you should have 9 new videos being tested. Now, when you're doing creative testing, you give it 48 hours. And after 48 hours, the same rules applied as they applied in stage 1, where whichever creatives after 48 hours did not get a sale, you turn them off. Whichever ones did get a sale, you forward them into the scaling campaigns. So let me give you a visual demonstration. Whichever creatives inside of creative testing campaign did well, you would then move them down into interest scaling method CBO. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to find new creatives that are working and you're trying to see if you can scale them inside of these new campaigns. And obviously, whichever creatives didn't work, you turn them off and you replace them. Now, remember, like I said to you guys before, you want to be testing a minimum of 10 creatives a week, which means this creative testing campaign should be running for at least 4 days a week for that to be the case. Now, your scaling campaigns will never see any great results if you're not putting new creatives into them. Now, most creatives will have a lifespan of around about a few weeks to a few months and they'll die out. Now, that doesn't mean you can't make a variation of them and adjust it into this testing module and then move them into scaling. So guys, the last form of scaling campaign that we've got in the early days is our horizontal scaling campaign. So you want to click create again. You're going to click sales. You're going to click continue. You're going to click continue again. You can either call this one ad set scaling or horizontal scaling. It's completely down to you guys what you want to call it. You're going to keep it at ABO. You're not going to change it to CBO. And what you're doing inside of this campaign is whichever ad set got 3 sales within the first week, you duplicate it 3 times, and you put it in this campaign. So let's say I've got 3 ad sets that have had 3 sales since the first week of launching them, or within the first week of running them. You will then duplicate that ad set 3 times and put it inside of this campaign. So if I've got 3 ad sets and I've got to duplicate them 3 times, that means I would have 9 ad sets inside of this campaign. And you would just let them run again for 48 hours inside of that campaign. And the rules will apply the same as any other ad set. You give it the 48-hour rule. You give it the 48-hour rule. And if it doesn't beat the 48-hour rule, and remember, all the rules are in this sheet, guys. So just check the sheet out. It's all there for you. If it doesn't beat the 48-hour rule, you kill them. And if it means you've got no more ad sets to put into the scaling ad set campaign because you've got no new winning ad sets, then this campaign just gets turned off, guys. It's as simple as that. You don't leave it on for the sake of leaving it on. You turn it off. If you have found new ad sets that have done really well, that are completely new, you then add it to this campaign. Again, I'm going to make this very clear to you guys. You want to see which one of these scaling methods works the best for you. Is it horizontal? Is it vertical? Is it interest scaling? Is it creative testing that works the best? Adding new creatives to the mix, whichever ones work the best, you add it to the winning ad set. What method is it that works on your account? And this is why in week 2 and week 3, you're either going to be breaking even or you're going to be making money, because it's going to take you around about that much time to figure out which one of these methods is going to be the best on your account. Now, a lot of people at this stage are going to ask, well, what do I do with my original campaign? Because now I've moved a lot of stuff out of that and into these other campaigns. If the original campaign is running the old ad sets and they're not making money and they're unprofitable, then you obviously will turn it off. If for some reason, I've had it before, the original campaign is still doing really, really well with the original formats of what you've done, then you leave it running. Eventually, this campaign will die out and you'll just have these going. Your creative testing based on what's worked the best on your ad set level, and then whatever scaling method has worked the best on these. And remember, every ad set after day 3, which is 72 hours, has to start getting a sale. So if it doesn't get a sale, you start turning them off. If you don't stick to these strict rules, you'll lose money and you'll burn money insanely fast. And remember what I said to you guys before, I allow between $250 and $350 per product. If I go over that, I will move on. So guys, here's a recap of what we've covered. Vertical scaling, which is budget increase, identify profitable ad sets with 3 sales, gradually increase the daily budget, example $60, then $80, then $120, monitor performance 24 hours to 48 hours and increase if it needs increasing. Then we went over horizontal scaling with new audiences as well. And this is scaling advertising. Identify profitable ads, increase daily budgets, monitor performance, duplicate and winning ad sets, test different interests, and stack different interests. Now guys, we're in the stage of week 3 and 4 of running our product on Facebook ads. And now we should be in a place where we are either making some good money profitability wise, or we're still at break even, but we're soon to find a profitable time. I've had it before where I've been running break even till week 6, but I'm still trying to find out what's working, so that's completely fine. Now I'm going to be going over some more advanced scaling strategies, and you can't do this till you've had at least 30 to 50 sales. So I wouldn't even recommend trying any of this till you've had between 30 and 50 sales. If you've not got 30 to 50 sales, stick to these scaling strategies here, guys. And most importantly, stick to creative testing. The creative testing, I can't emphasize it enough, is the most important part of Facebook ads. The more winning creatives you find or have, the more likely you are to move on to the advanced stage where you're going to be running loads and loads of campaigns. Now, as the creatives are the most important part of your Facebook journey, let's talk about creative optimization quickly before we move on. When to refresh creatives. CTR drops below 3%, launch new creatives. Creative fatigue, which happens a lot. Test 5 to 10 new videos weekly. Proven video ad formats. Problem solution. Showcase the product solving a relatable issue. Example, a night light that helps parents monitor their baby. Unboxing videos, display excitement and product featured during unboxing narrative ads. Blend into the platform into less salesy content. So basically, these are the types of videos that typically work the best on Facebook. Stick to them with your product and you should be fine. So common pitfalls are high CPCs. You're testing a winning product in a very, very competitive niche, so you're struggling to be profitable. A really easy fix to this, guys, is target untapped regions and languages. Example, run the product in Germany instead, or France with the translated creatives and website. Now it's super easy these days, guys, to actually translate your ads into foreign languages. You can use a tool like Hygiene AI, and you can use other AI tools to do it that I'll leave linked in this sheet. So you basically will run your product into the native countries and languages outside of the US. This is the easiest way to drop your CPCs whilst remaining very profitable. Now, if you're struggling with very low CTR, improve video hooks and storytelling, test different video formats of audiences, ensure that the product solves a clear problem, test new audiences and refine offers. So guys, before I go over the super advanced scaling strategy that will help you hit 6 figures and 7 figures with your dropshipping store, I want to quickly go over how you can fast track yourself to that position. Now, it comes back to the methods I taught you before, which is CBO scaling and ABO scaling. But what you will need to do is you'll need to increase the risk. So I've already gone over how CBO works. This is just a visual overline. And I've also gone over how ABO scaling works. But what you would do is you would increase the odds. So what you would do is, instead of increasing your CBOs by, let's say, $10 a day or $20 every other day, you'd increase it to $50 to $100. Now, if CBO scaling doesn't work for you and ABO scaling works for you, then your example is every 2 days, you would change it from $10 to $25 to $50, and that's per ad set budget if you're doing ABO scaling. Now, an example of this, guys, is this scaling method CBO here. I would try and get that within 2 weeks up to $1,000. So what I would do is after 3 days, if I'm still profitable and making money, I would change it to $150. If after 3 days it's still doing really well, I would change it to $300. If after another 3 days it's doing well, I would change it to $500, then $750. So I would aggressively change this. If I'm doing a horizontal scaling, which is ad set scaling, which is where I increase the budget, I would, after every 3 days, instead of it being $20, I'd change it to $50. And then after another 3 days, if that does well, I'd change it to $100. Then I'd change it to $200. Now, for this method to work really well, the ABO and CBO scaling method, you need to make sure that you've got a lot of creatives that are working. You need to make sure that you've got enough audiences and you have a solid audience that is proven to work time and time again. But more importantly, you've got lots of winning creators. As long as you've got those, this should be able to be scaled very aggressively, very quick. Now, this will really be hard to do if you don't have many winning creatives. Let's say you've only got 1 or 2. If you've got 10 winning creatives, this will be extremely easy to do. If you've been able to laser focus who your audience is, what countries, what age range, what platform, what placements work the best as well, this should not be an issue, guys, to be able to scale aggressively with the budgets. So guys, now we're going to move on to one of the most advanced ways to scale your Facebook campaigns as aggressive as possible. Now, there are 2 methods, and this is the first method, and this is probably one of my most favorite methods at the moment. Now, this is called the advanced duplication strategy based on bid laddering, and this is more designed for people with higher budgets, and I'll explain why this is more suited for higher budgets. It will all make sense when I show you how to do it. Now, you shouldn't even be trying this until you've had between 50 and 100 sales. It just doesn't make sense. So you want to come back to Facebook, you want to click create on a campaign, you want to click sales, you want to click continue, you want to use manual sales campaign again and click continue. But this time you're going to call the campaign bid laddering. And then once you've done that, click sales. You're not using ABO. You're just going to be using the ad set budget optimization. All right, when you come inside of the campaign level, guys, you want to turn sales on. You want to leave campaign budget optimization off. You can't use CBO for this strategy. It will not work. Then you want to go inside of the ad set level. We're going to call the ad set level bid. Now, we're not going to come up with a number yet because we need to figure this out. So we'll move on to it later on. Then you want to choose website. You want to click maximize number of conversions, your pixel, purchase, and then you'll see cost per result. This is the bit where we're going to be focusing our time on. Now, before we move on to cost per result, guys, we're going to fill out the rest. Now, what you're going to be filling out is daily budget as always. Now, for you to be doing this correctly, guys, you need to be having at least 3 winning ad sets. Do not come inside of this campaign unless you've got 3 winning ad sets. Now, ad set 1 will be your first winning ad set from a prior campaign or another campaign that's currently running. And you need to set the daily budget per ad set at 50. The minimum should be 50. I actually like to do 100, guys. If you're not comfortable, do 75. But again, 50 should be the very minimum you should do. And then the rest in terms of filling it out should be based on what's currently working on your other campaigns, what countries are working. And then in the ad level, it should be your 3 winning creatives. For the ads to work the best, you should always choose your 3 best performing creatives for this strategy. If you haven't got 3 winning creatives, then just put 2 or 1 in there, but 3 is the optimal amount to get the best results. Now, if we go back inside of the ad set level and move on to what is important, which is the cost per result feature. Now, cost per result feature is a new feature that Facebook's added. It used to be the bidding strategy where you could change manual bids. They've basically simplified this into cost per result. Now, what does cost per result? It means what are you willing to let Facebook spend for you to get a result? Now, can I just say something to you guys? This is not a guarantee. Cost per result isn't guaranteed. Now, if I put 20 in here, guys, it doesn't guarantee that Facebook will get me a purchase on $20. It doesn't work like that. Facebook will optimize and try and get it that low, but you've got to be realistic. Now, it doesn't mean you put $1 in here and Facebook will now get us a sale for $1. It just won't spend any money if you do that. Now, this is where we have to really think logical to ourselves. Well, what are our margins? So if I'm selling a product for $79.99 and my margin is technically $50, what can I spend for it to even be worthy of my time? Now, we're going to be setting this up in 3 ad sets. Ad set 1, the cost per result will be low. The second one will be a medium level. And the third one will be a higher level. Now, on the most optimal setting, I would like Facebook to return me a sale if I'm making $50 at around about 25. So the first one, the cost per result will be 25. So I would want Facebook on this ad set to basically make me money based on $25. So I'm going to come back up and I'm going to call bid 25. I am then going to go back into the campaign level and change the campaign name to bid laddering CPR, which stands for cost per result. Now what I'm going to do is once you've filled out the ad set level with the right targeting and the right ads, you're then going to duplicate it 2 more times. And then this one, I'm going to go back to the cost per result here. And I'm actually going to change this one now from 25 to 30. So now I'm going to go back up and change this to 30. So this is me now allowing Facebook to say, I realistically want you to get me a purchase based on $30 of spend. Every time you spend $30, I realistically need you to make me a sale. Now, the last one we're going to do is we're actually going to put this quite high up and we're going to put this one to 35. So now we're going to change this to 35. And just like that, guys, we have got our CPR targeting done. So now we're trying to find where optimize is Facebook going to try and get us sales. Are they going to try and get us sales on $25? $30 spend or a $35 spend. Again, this isn't guaranteed. This is you telling Facebook, this is the margin that I can work with every time I get a sale for it to be worthy of my time. Now, usually when you launch this style of campaign, two of things are going to happen. Number one, it's barely going to spend any money because Facebook feels that it can't return you much on these bids that we've set here, which is our CPR. Or it's going to spend a lot of money and it's going to deliver on these bids, which is very good because it means you're going to be extremely profitable. Now, I would recommend that you launch this for, again, 3 days. See how it goes. Pay attention to which bid gets the most attraction. And if after 3 days it really doesn't do much, adjust the bids again. And this time change it from 25 to 30, then 35, then 40, and see if it makes a big difference. If it doesn't, just completely turn it off. But this scaling strategy typically does work extremely well once you've got a lot of sales because Facebook knows your numbers and it can pretty much figure it out. So guys, the next scaling method is one of the most aggressive, if not aggressive methods of scaling, and it's controlling the full auction of Facebook. Now, to be able to do this one, guys, you need to have way over 100 sales. So 100 sales is minimum. For the CPR method, it was 50 and above. For this method, you need to be way over 100 in orders. Now, the reason why is because with the CPR method, it's viewed on a 7-day basis. With this method, it's pretty much every day the auction will change. Now, you need to really know your metrics on a solid case for you to be able to do this. That's going to be your CTR and how much roughly it costs you to get a purchase. These are the two metrics that will be used for the auction. So what you're going to need to do, guys, to do this is go to where it says create, go to where it says sales and click continue. Now, you're going to want to be doing manual sales campaign again and click continue. Now, this is the method that all the dropshippers and e-commerce guys use to do those crazy days, like let's say 50K a day or 100K a day. Even some of them are doing 300K a day. This is how they're able to do it. Now, I also want to say it's very volatile and risky as well if you don't do it correctly. Now, you're going to want to call this one bid control and then your product name. Then you're going to want to scroll all the way down to where it says Advantage Campaign Budget, turn it on. Now, for the budget, this is where things get interesting. You need to be spending a minimum, and I really do mean minimum, and if not, it's too low, $250. Now, let's say, for example, I want to spend $250. The best thing that I can do is actually change it from $250 to $500, just because it works better doing it this way. I usually find if I want to spend $250, I have to double it on the budget for it to actually spend that. So if I want to spend 500, which is where I usually start, which is 500, I normally have to change this to 1,000. Now in this case, I actually want to spend $500, but setting it at 1,000 is more likely for Facebook to push it to getting it all the way up to $500. Then we need to go to where it says campaign bid strategy, change it from highest volume to bid strategy to then bid cap. Now, once we've done that, we can go inside of the ad set level. Then we can change the ad set name to what bid we're going to set. Also, we're going to change the ad set name to what audience we're doing. Now, for this strategy to work the best, you want to test 3 different audiences. And these 3 different audiences should be based on what's worked for you before, which is interests and countries. So you should be able to segment out the interests and the countries. So for example, this one's going to be top 5 and it's going to be stacked. And then I'm going to call it whatever interest I'm stacking. Then I'm going to scroll down and then you're going to see here where it says bid control. Now guys, this is where you get full power over the auction. This is where you have now got the power to control the full auction of Facebook. So this is very, very powerful. But again, like I said to you, can be extremely risky if not done properly. Now the bid control, I usually set this for where I want my purchase to be. So let's say I need to get roughly a $20 or $30 purchase power rate. So let's say I need Facebook to get me a purchase for $30. I usually double it. So let's say I'm aiming for a $30 conversion rate in terms of I want Facebook to spend $30. I have to actually double that to $60 for the bid to probably work. Now that means that Facebook won't spend any more than $60 to get me a purchase, by the way, guys. So it's very important to understand that. Although I've set it at 60, it does mean that Facebook won't spend any more than $60 to get me a purchase. Now, if I want to do hypothetically $20 for a purchase, then I would double it so it would be $40. So for this example, I'm going to set the bid control to $40. Now, once I've done that, guys, I can now go back up and I can say bid and then set it to 40. Now, the benefits of using bid control like this is sometimes Facebook doesn't bid enough, so they're underbidding and they don't get you purchases. So this is you saying, yeah, I know my metrics very well and I know this is the right number for Facebook. And Facebook's going to be optimizing this at a faster rate than me and you could possibly do it. Then in terms of the actual ad, you need to put your winning creative in here. You're only doing one creative for this, guys. So put your winning creative in the ad. And then once you've done this, you're going to duplicate this 2 more times. And what I'm changing in here, guys, is the audience. So this time I might do top 20, which means the top 20 countries. And instead of stacked, I'm only doing one interest. Now that one interest might be completely broad. Then in the next one, I could do USA only and I could do stacked and then the bid's the same. And then once I've done that, guys, I can click publish. Now, when you're doing bid control campaigns, it is extremely important to manage them on a every other day basis. Now, you should be checking them every day, by the way, like literally every day when you wake up and before you go to bed, to make sure they're not overspending or they are spending, and then every other day you can adjust the bid. If you feel like it's not getting you sales, you increase the bid by 5. I always go up in $5 intervals on the second day. So on day 2, if I feel like it's not spending enough, I will increase it from 40 to 45. Again, if after the second day, I still feel like it hasn't done it correctly, I will then go to 50. And then I should hit a number where I'm comfortable, where I'm getting a good amount of sales for the bid. Now, because the auction is a daily thing, you will have to readjust the bid once you find a winning bid every day or every other day, because the bids will constantly change. Now, sometimes I've changed the bid twice in the same day, and that usually happens around times like Black Friday, Cyber Monday, Valentine's Day, where there's a lot of ads being ran. Usually throughout the year, whether it's slow periods, you shouldn't have to do it more than once a day. Now, I have left a full in-depth strategy in the cheat sheet explaining how to do this, guys, and I want to really say to you guys, there is a lot of risk involved in this because budgets can be spent extremely quick and you can get zero in return. I've done this before. I've blasted $500 and got zero out of it. So you have to be extremely careful and know your metrics. Do not do this method if you do not understand what's going on, because you will then end up burning through a lot of money. But again, this is the method that has to be used if you want to do huge numbers a day or on a weekly basis. And again, this campaign follows the same rules as every other campaign. You give it a 4-day interval period. After 4 days, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Then you reassess. Maybe you've not got enough sales yet to even do bids. Maybe your product's not designed for bid control because the industry bids are very hard to navigate. But it's definitely worth trying it once you've got between 150 and 200 sales. Now, if you are starting to see a lot of success and you've figured out, you know what your bids are, you can start messing around with the budget. So if you know how to do your bids correctly and you feel like you've kind of understood the auction, we can now change this from 1,000 to 2,000 a day. But again, only do this if you found success with the current bid strategy that you've just done. Now, guys, the last method of scaling that you can use, which is a new one, is Advantage plus shopping campaigns. Now, to do this, you need 100 sales, or it's just purely not worth it. And you need at least a winning creative that consistently does really well. Now, how to do this, guys, is you click create, you then go to sales, you click continue, and instead of doing manual, you're now doing Advantage plus, and you're going to hit continue. And then it's going to say name. You're going to want to call it Advantage Shopping Campaign, and then your product name. And then it's going to say categories. You can ignore that. And then it's going to say performance goal, maximize conversions. And then it's going to say pixel, and then you're going to do purchase. And then you've got cost per result, which again, you don't need to be doing for this strategy, guys. You can leave this one alone. Then you've got audience location. You want to enter your winning locations in here, guys. So whichever ones you found that do the best, add them all in here. And then where it says daily budget, this is where things get interesting. You want to be doing at minimum $100. I would never do an Advantage Plus shopping campaign if you are not doing a minimum of 100. I usually start off at 250. Then with the start date, set it at midnight the next day. And then you can scroll down and then it says suggested ads. You can do available or import. And then you've got existing ads. These are the ads that are currently existing in your actual business manager that you can click on. Then once you've done that, guys, you're going to see your ad level here. So underneath the campaign, you're going to see the ad level. And if you scroll down, you're going to see Facebook page. You're going to select your page. Then you've got ad setup, create ad, use existing post. You can use an existing post by using the ad ID. Then where it says catalog, click not connected if you're not using catalogs, which you're probably not. Then you've got source URL. I would put your website URL in here for the product page. And then you've got add creative where you can select the post. So you can select one of the posts. Obviously, you select the one with the most interactions, the most likes, the most comments. So I'm going to select this one and click continue. Now, once you've done this, guys, go back to the ad name and change the name to whichever creative you've used. So if it's the first winning creative, meaning it's the top performing one, call it winning creative 1. Then what I'd recommend that you guys do is quick duplicate that 2 more times. And if you've got 2 more winning creatives, you type in winning creative 2. And then on the last one, you're going to call it winning creative 3. So in total, you should have one of the Advantage Plus campaigns with your 3 winning creatives. Make sure the call to action button is shop now and enter your website URL. Then you're going to see one of the most important parts, which is highlight your promotion. So click promo codes and go to where it says manually select a code and click add code. And then you're going to want to create a promo code. Now for this to work the best, I always make sure that I make my promo code 30% off to 50% off. Facebook doesn't like it when you go over 40 to 50%, so keep it to around about 30 to 50%. Now call your promo code anything related to your product. So I'm going to call my promo code VEST30. Then I'm going to change it to percentage. I'm going to change it to 30%. And then the maximum discount is optional. I don't keep it. Condition, I keep none. And then the start and end date, I keep it as now. And then the description, I don't make it. So then I click add. Now make sure that you've got a Shopify coupon code that matches VEST30 on your store, or people aren't going to like that it doesn't match up. Now the whole point of Advantage Plus is with you highlighting your promos in the ad. Now once you've done that, guys, you can click publish and that's your Advantage Plus campaign made. Now using Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, guys, is beneficial for these reasons, and these are the reasons why you need to make sure you've got at least 100 orders, or Facebook can't basically do these 5 bullet points correctly. It only works based on data. You can't test doing it. You can only scale doing Advantage Plus. It's basically Facebook's super AI campaign, and it does work very well when you scale. Look at it like a PMAX campaign on Google is very, very similar. If you know what Google is and PMAX is, it's pretty much the same thing. So guys, those are all the scaling methods that you can use on Facebook to try and get yourself to the 6-figure mark and 7-figure mark. Now, not all of these methods are going to work for you. Maybe only 2 of them are going to work. Maybe only 1 of them are going to work. Or maybe only a few of them are going to work. As long as your creative testing works, where you can add more creatives and find more success, that's really, really important. As long as either the ad set scaling, which is your horizontal scaling, or your vertical scaling works, that's really, really good. And as long as one of these work, which is Advantage Plus, bid control, or bid laddering works, then you're in a good place. So having either one of these 3 are key for super scaling. As long as either your ad set scaling or your CBO scaling works, that's good for medium size scaling. And as long as your creative testing works, it means your product will carry on making money long term. So that's like my bundle for success when it comes to Facebook. As long as you can have a few of those working throughout, you're going to be completely fine. Now, there is one thing that can stop your success on Facebook, and that's you competing with yourself. So your own ads are competing with each other. So your creatives are competing with your creatives, and that's something that is a big issue with the Facebook platform. And this is where dynamic creatives are super important for your Facebook ads. Now, dynamic creatives are important when you get around about the 50 to 100 order mark. And for you guys to be able to get around that issue, I will leave a full explanation in the cheat sheet and a link to a video that you can watch. Now, if you do feel like you're running into dynamic creative issues where you are competing with yourself, then that is the easiest way to fix it, which is basically me showing you how to stop competing with yourself. But you should only do that when you feel like that is the issue. So if you feel like you just can't scale and you've hit a glass ceiling, you just seem like you can't get past it, it usually means that it's because you're competing with yourself and you're outbidding yourself and you're literally testing yourself and you're just competing against your own account. And that can sometimes be the biggest issue for why you've hit a glass ceiling. But again, I'm going to leave a full explanation on how to avoid that in the cheat sheet. But I would truly say, guys, that is the highest, most valuable Facebook ads tutorial that I can give you on the different ways you can scale and the ways to do it. I think with what I've shown you there, guys, you can do some amazing numbers, but you've got to be very, very careful and you've got to be very smart when you're doing it. This is a legitimate man's game now when you're messing around with bids. This isn't a joke. You should treat it very seriously when you're getting onto this stage, because you can lose them a lot of money, but you can also make a lot of money. So guys, that's the Facebook ads module done on all the different ways you can scale that I find work the best in the last 12 months. Now, the reason why I haven't gone over lookalike audiences and retargeting is because I just feel like they're not as good as they used to be, like in 2020 and 2018. Retargeting usually is done by itself now with these new AI campaigns. You don't need to do it yourself. And lookalikes do not work for me anymore. So these are the methods that are working, and I don't want to teach you methods that just don't work for me anymore and don't work for other people that I'm well connected with. So with that being said, guys, that is the Facebook ads module done. Let me know what you guys thought of the Facebook ads module in the comment section of the YouTube video or in the Vault member discussion section. So guys, the last thing that I want to cover inside of the Facebook ads module is Triple Whale, which is a third-party tracking software that is designed to make sure that your numbers are accurate. Now, even with TikTok, you can also connect Triple Whale to TikTok, but with ad platforms like Facebook, TikTok, and all of them, they're not 100% accurate. So the metrics and the results that it shows you per result is not accurate. Now, the only way to overcome this is by using a third-party software like Triple Whale that will fix the attribution issues. Now, I want to make this very clear. You do not want to be using an attribution tool like Triple Whale if you're not getting consistent orders. Now, if you're getting between 20 and 30 orders a week consistently, then I would say it's worth your time getting Triple Whale, because it's going to help you make the right decisions on your ads manager, whether it be Facebook or TikTok. You're actually going to be scaling the correct ad sets, and you're not getting attribution issues with the in-house tool, which is Facebook's ads manager or TikTok ads manager. So if I show you an example of how the meta ads works, this is the overview. This is a broad comprehensive tool designed to provide e-commerce brands with an in-depth analysis and performance metric of the Facebook campaign using Triple Whale's 7 attribution model and a built-in AI chat to offer you precise and actionable insights on your brand. Now, this is an image of what it actually looks like when you use Triple Whale. It actually looks similar to the Facebook Ads Manager, but it's just a lot more boosted in terms of attribution. So you can see your ad set ID, you can see your campaign ID, you can see your pixel ROAS. So this is the in-house Triple Whale ROAS, and then you've got Facebook's ROAS. So it actually shows you the ROAS that Facebook's giving you versus what Triple Whale's giving you. And again, there will be a massive difference between the two. It'll also show you the numbers in percentages as well, which is useful. So you can see spend, it shows you the percentages, ROAS, it'll also show you the percentages. So you get a rough idea in percentages of what's going on. Now, there's something called the Triple Whale blended stats, which is useful, which is usually on their dashboard. And what this will do is it will show you your net profit for the day, your ad spend for the day, cash turnover for the day, your MER for the day. And this is a really helpful insight, especially if you're starting to spend, $500 a day, $1,000 a day, even over that. This is a really good place to see a nice blended stat of what your ad account is doing. Is your ad account up to date? Is it down today? This is an all-in-one solution to find out what is going on inside of your ad accounts. Now, the way Triple Whale is able to do this is because it's using their Triple Whale pixel, which is their own pixel that has certain attribution traits. So if you look, they've got end-to-end customer journey tracking, recognize new versus recurring customers, and data and privacy compliance, which basically means they're in law with the regulations at the moment. Now, this shows you how to create your pixel or your attribution, and the one that they recommend is the total impact, and you can do loads of others, but total impact is the one that we all recommend that you use. Now, by creating this pixel, it will then show you, like I said, your pixel versus their pixel, so which is the Facebook in-house versus theirs, and it will show you a clearer attribution between the two. So just to make it very clear, guys, if you're in week 2 or 3 of scaling your business with Facebook ads or TikTok ads, and your ad spend limit at the moment is between $500 and $1,000, Triple Whale is, in my opinion, an essential app that you must have if you want to scale confidently and accurately to higher numbers. Again, you cannot scale to aggressive numbers if your data is not accurate, because you're going to be scaling the wrong things, which will then make you a net loss, not a net profit. And now I've seen this with a lot of dropshippers and e-commerce brand owners, where they start to make good money and then they start to be very stingy with the important things like Triple Whale and other apps like Beprofit that are designed to make sure you know your numbers, which is really crucial for your business health. Now, you can book a demo with Triple Whale to make sure that it's right for you and it's the right time to start using it. So do use that feature if you need to use it, guys. And again, it's not for beginners. This is purely designed for people that are spending between $500 upwards. If you're a beginner, just stick to using UTMs or URL parameters, as that will be more than efficient as a beginner. So guys, that's how you can make your first $10,000 or even $100,000 online selling digital products in 2025. I hope you found this video helpful. Remember, the cheat sheet is so important because it's going to give you all of the resources and links that you need to help you. So make sure we hit 1,000 likes on this video. I'd love to hear your feedback on this tutorial and how you found it. With that being said, guys, I'll catch you in the next video.